Here we go.
Hey there, ball knowers. You're listening to Stick Drift, a bi weekly show where we talk about the world of video games and the culture surrounding them. My name is Power Glover, and with me is fellow ball knower, Noah
I
Dorian.
don't know. I don't know it. I don't know sports.
Okay, you're not a ball and gun gamer, I'll put it this way, but you are a ball knower. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Okay, well, it's fine. It's maybe the sports anecdote doesn't work, but we're gonna roll with it. If you like it or you hate it, please would you rate it, follow the rule of cool, and leave a like on the mic. You can find us on YouTube at StickDriftPodYT, on Twitter /X at StickDriftYT, and lastly on our Facebook page, StickDrift. We're also on Spotify. Each of our content has its own channel, so for a specific podcast, please subscribe to each to make sure you get the newest audio content in your feed. Something about Spotify I've noticed is we're getting a lot of just natural new listeners, which is really nice. And
Hey.
I'm pretty happy about that. So continue listening, like it, and share it. If you don't like it, still rate it. Like I said. So Noah, you doing all right? Everything good?
Doing good, yeah. Give us that negativity. We feed on it. We
I
consume
want
it.
the three haters.
Yeah.
They're hating something they're looking at that I made. So that's a win for me.
Yeah. They're like the Three Musketeers. We love you guys. Like, come on. Hate
Real,
us.
real.
Yeah.
Nothing realer has been said by you.
Yeah.
Something that was real bad on the topic of real, it was hail. Did you get anything
Oh,
broken?
hell no. No, I didn't,
Okay,
luckily.
that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, there was like a really big bad hailstorm here. And well,
Yeah.
honestly, the Midwest. And it was the first time where I heard because you hear about hail damage, you're just like, this will be all right, right? You just we'll weather the storm. It was bad.
Yeah.
Like I knew people that actually had their windows busted. I'm like, golly. I actually had hail damage on my Buick.
Oh
Um,
no. Dang.
yeah, they're a little small, but it's
Hmm.
still there. You know what I mean? But yeah, just a little bit of weird, not flash flood, but like flash hailing. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
I only had where I was at, I only had like marble size, so
Oh, you did? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing like lemon sized sometimes.
Oh
It's like,
wow.
dang, it's
Insane.
nuts. But anyway, we've come together to talk about life, lots of hail, and I most of my stuff survived. I mean, I got a little couple dings here and there. It sounds like you're good too, but
Yep.
like I said, I've heard people have their stuff completely
It was two
busted.
days in a row for me that I had hail, so it's kind of
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. I know. Okay. So basically, before we continue to the real video game stuff, someone I know works at a school and like 40 cars, all their windows busted
Oh my
because of the
gosh.
hailstorm. I know.
That's
Like all the
horrible.
back windows, some of the
Yeah.
front windows, like it was bad. I've never heard of something
Great
so
for the
bad.
body shops.
Real. Yeah. That's so real. Yeah. People are going to go into the body shops and go like, same issue. Like, yeah, same issue. You want to, you might just go like, I'll have what they're having.
I'll
Give
have
me a
what
window.
they're having. That's horrible.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically what's going on.
That's
So,
that's pretty
you know what they
terrible.
could use? I'll tell you what. That's a good segue. I'm a master
Boy,
of
I tell you
segues here.
what.
They could 3D print their window if they had that ahead.
Oh, I love 3D printing. Let's talk about it.
We love corporate synergy here at the
Yeah.
Delphi Corporation, and that's a good segue to talk about Pragmata. We've both beaten that
Yeah.
game. That is a new video game, and it is a very, very good video game, I will say.
Yep.
Um, so a little bit to start. Just let's give a temperature of it. So I guess this is the kind of thing that we've talked about breaking down. We're gonna have kind of an initial impressions
Mhm.
sort of thing where we're talking about gameplay, just our normal feelings, and then if we want to get into spoilers, we'll have like a period of spoiler talk just in case because we've both beaten it, and sometimes it just doesn't make sense to like have a full breakout podcast
Yeah.
because it's kind of experiential, honestly,
Yep.
and the story is it's not like one of these deep metaphor things we really got to dive into, I think. So
Yeah.
this would be a good forum for that. Um, but yeah, I guess top line thoughts. What are your thoughts on Pragmat? And I'll follow.
Yeah, it's really fun. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. I just kind of played it on a whim, got on a whim, and
Yeah,
I ended up really just vibing with it. Very fast paced combat, very twitchy combat. And the meshing of the puzzle mechanics with the simplified puzzle mechanics with simplified shooting mechanics makes for a very fun and engaging experience, I think. They didn't go too far on either side, and so someone who's kind of casual on both of those sides, like me, was able to really enjoy sort of that while also having the grounded sort of action gameplay in addition to the shooting and the puzzle solving. That's kind of where my wheelhouse is in the actual like action like movement sort of style of game, and so that's where I was really able to hone in on the experience and then just have these two things to kind of like be dressing almost for the action gameplay for myself. So
For sure. I echo that too. I think what I've found with modern Capcom is they are masters of editing and curating their gameplay experience. Like they
mm-hmm.
know exactly how long they want to give you something, and they know how exactly how long you'll get tired of it, and they
Yeah,
want you to move to the next thing. I
yep,
really feel that about modern Resident Evil. Like Requiem is like this too, where they do not spend too long on any single idea. They are always moving you experientially through the world they've made.
yep,
And there's like a velocity to their games that I really appreciate. They don't waste your time.
yep,
And Pragmata is like that too. So it's you can kind of cut it any way you want. Like to just beat it normally is like 9 to 10 hours if you're just playing it normally, and
yeah.
maybe even shorter if you're just not doing any side stuff. But if you want to linger, it's like 16, 17 hours, you'd say, something like that.
I
Um,
lingered to the point where I did everything except beat it on Lunatic. That's the only thing I haven't done yet for like the platinum.
yeah.
And I think I've got about 24-ish hours in that thing. I can triple
Okay.
check,
Yeah.
but
But
yeah,
even to do all the
it's
stuff,
20. Yeah,
not
24 hours. Yep.
Herculean. 24. Okay. Yeah, it's not some Herculean task to like just do that too, which
Yeah.
is nice. And yeah, I really like how Capcom they give you these Lux experiences and they trust you and you're like not knowledge, but like they don't treat you like you're dumb.
Yeah.
But they basically give you just enough hand holding to go, okay, go play with the stuff we've made for you. I like that. And they curate their stuff so it doesn't feel like it's too long in the tooth by the end of it. Um, yeah, I think I would say, I mean, would you say you love that game? Would you
Yeah.
say that game was really, really great?
Yep.
Okay.
That
Good.
game is
I'm
probably
a
my game of the
little
year currently. So. Yep.
great. That's good. That's good. I mean, both of ours are Capcom right now. Requiem far more, in a way is mine.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
but Pragmata is just a notch below that, and Cairn probably for my favorite thing I played this year. I really like that game. It's extremely good. It's extremely good. I think I have some minor quibbles, which is I think I might have brought it up in this podcast or I have we talked about Pragmata at all? We hadn't
I
played it.
don't think so. No, we hadn't played it last
Okay.
podcast. Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably been in our conversations then. I guess my minor issues lie with um, the characterization of Hugh. Like he's okay, but I feel a little bit of the generic white shooter man thing, except with like the sincerity meter turned way up. Does that make sense? Is that weird?
Sure.
That's just
I didn't get those
it,
vibes, but I was like really paying attention to like the sort of dialogue you would get when you're just going from place to place looking for collectibles. There's a lot of dialogue that goes on between Diana and Hugh that you're just not going to get if you're not like going through and collecting everything, because they talk about Hugh a lot during those sequences, and so you really get to know who Hugh is and like his backstory when you're going through that process. So
right, and some of that stuff I haven't done. I will grant you, but like just for the main thrust, it's not bad. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Um, I just think sometimes he comes off as I don't know, ultra gregarious in a way where he's like super positive and trying not to rock the boat hardly at all. Does that make sense? Like there's like this
sure.
really intense positivity to him that maybe is slightly grating to me. Maybe that's my problem. Um, but I will say Diana is the star of the show. She steals the game.
Yep.
Um, and usually like when they have these back and forth like conversations, um, she's saving these conversations. Not like it's like oh he's ruining them or whatever, but like the give and take makes it interesting. I
Yep.
think, even though I think the performances are great all around. Diana's great. The guy who plays Hugh is also great. Like the performance wise is good. Um, but yeah, there's a little bit of there's a lot of saccharine uh dialogue in there where like she's like, "Oh my gosh, that was so fun," which is fun because she's like acts like a kid. After they do like a really intense combat challenge, he's like, "Yeah, let's do that again." Like that stuff gets a
I
little
don't
much for me.
think he does that. I think that's a little extreme, but
Maybe it's a vibes thing I'm getting, but it all contributed in some way to make it feel kind of like that to me. Maybe I'm projecting. I don't know.
uh
In some way, like it's doing the lone wolf and cub thing, but a lot a lot more different in a way where they're not. It's not like a father daughter thing necessarily. It's more like two friends that respect each other a little bit because she's appearance wise like what 7 or 6 or 7 something like that 8, um, and he's like what in his 40s early 40s late 30s, but she like talks like a adult, but when she's not like
uh
in wonderment about
I
like
think I'm
oh how do humans work?
disagreeing there. She talks like a little kid. Like she really does talk like a
Well,
little kid. She acts like a little
she
kid.
right she does well
She has the
basically what I'm
mentality of
saying
a
is like
little kid.
she has like a naivete of a child. That's what I'm saying. But she has the response of a computer, like in terms of
Of a computer,
like
yes. Yep.
processing, like
Yep.
a processing thing. And that makes it sound slightly adult sometimes. Does that
Hmm.
make sense to you? Maybe
I
you just
didn't
disagree. That's fine.
I think I just have to disagree there. I didn't get that vibe at all. I like she's just this artificial child. So like she has like this like computer-esque responses to things sometimes, but then she's also just got those like childish responses of, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I agree with you, but maybe that's kind of how I feel that way. She has a lot of like more grown up responses because of that computer interface
maybe,
to herself.
yeah.
That's kind of what I mean, I think. So we might be more on the same track than maybe it sounds, but yeah, in terms of performance and all that, it works really well. I think Diana's great. Um, I agree with you. The puzzle stuff they balance that really well. The in media rest, like, hey, I'm doing puzzle stuff while shooting a fool, usually works really well. There's sometimes it becomes overwhelming for me, and I kind of like there's a couple points towards the end of the game where I was just like, okay, maybe I played too much of this at once. I might need to step back a little bit and go look for some side stuff, and that usually cured my issue with it. It just becomes really busy, like on the sticks, like my fingers started hurting.
Hmm.
Not for you for sure, but um, yeah, I'm just getting old. I mean, probably what it is. And I was just like, you got me pressing 39 face
Yeah.
buttons to freaking open you like a lobster. Like it kind of becomes a lot sometimes,
I
not all the time.
mean, some of like the optional challenge things definitely had me screaming at my screen, so it gets
Yeah,
pretty intense with some of those things.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, minor quibbles aside there. I think the music's pretty good as well. It looks phenomenal as well. It's a really good looking game. Um, the aesthetics, like initially you could see it as going like, oh, what is this? Some like generic like sci-fi stuff? Like, ooh, this is so clean. But they do like some really interesting stuff with it, where it's like it kind of reminds me of Horizon a little bit with the like not well, I guess like the robots, but there's like that giraffe thing that you fight in that big arena. It kind of reminds me of stuff from Horizon, where it's like this organic synthetic creature, which I found pretty interesting. Um, but I guess I would compare like Capcom's artistic prowess to be superior to Gorillas in this way because they you can rest on you're basically your eyes rest on like the creatures they've made in Pragmata and understand what they look like, whereas in like Horizon they kind of become too visually complex for me in a way that like the Transformers movies are with all their gears and shit whirring around. It gets a little much visually for the Horizon stuff that I think Pragmata actually does really well. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
like the organic synthetic stuff is done better here than like a Horizon if I were to compare aesthetically what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of a very complex thing I'm trying to convey here. But anyway, I think it just looks great. And I think do you wish there was more characters they interacted with? Do you kind of felt like did you feel like the Diana Hugh relationship was good enough to like get you through it and all
Hmm.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I think if they do another one of these things, I think they need to add to the cast. Add more
Yes. Yeah.
of more humans, more pragmata. Um, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But I think that for this experience, I think that the characters that they had in this experience were enough to carry the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Well, once you start adding it up, the initial setting is like, hey, it's very dead. It's a kind of a Dead Space opening where they show up and they go like, "What's going on with this crew?" And then things go bad.
yep.
So that you have like an initial good like set group where you kind of get the idea of why they're there. And then when everybody goes helter skelter, then you start meeting a couple creatures and robots and stuff like Cabin. You meet Cabin and Diana and Eight at some point. So you do meet some things as you
Yep.
go, and there's like enough hologram files that you kind of see people working
Yep.
for Delphi while in the station. So it doesn't feel ever lonely, right?
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I've heard that complaint from some people that are like, "Oh, it just feels kind of lonely." I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with that. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
don't
it's a
think I agree
okay
with that
cast
necessarily.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me just fine, right? I guess is there anything that you felt was lacking in it, or are you pretty positive about the whole experience, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I think I mean if I had to pick some negatives, pick it apart a bit, I would say that I guess some of the post game stuff can be just a bit repetitive. And even like some of like the challenges like um towards the end of the game, like optional challenges are a bit repetitive and derivative. But that's all like kind of optional content, so you can't really like judge the game. I would say by that optional content, right? That's just for people who want more playtime out of the thing. The actual
Yeah.
experience, I think, if you're just doing the core experience that you have to do to beat the game, I don't think there's hardly any repeats of like content in that core experience. Other than that, honestly, I ended up preferring the Japanese dub to the English dub. I ended up changing to the Japanese dub just out of curiosity, and I ended up sticking with it. I thought that it was a fantastic dub. I thought that the English dub was fine, but I thought that the performances in the Japanese dub were slightly better, so I just went with that. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
but
Yeah.
yeah. Other than that, I mean, yeah, I'm not someone who usually likes this sort of game, so I was kind of surprised that I ended up liking it as much as I did. So
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. It I guess there's some ending stuff I want to get into in a second. But yeah, I the minor stuff I've kind of gotten out of the way. I would say some positives for me. Um, the thing I like the most about this game is the dash. I think the dash is so
hmm
crisp and immediate, and I'm like, okay, so I'm playing Saros now as well, and it also has a dash. It's very similar, but it discombobulates me because it's on the other bumper
oh
that it
no,
is in Pragmata. So like I'm still trying to get my head around in Saros, and maybe that's like diminishing my opinion of that dash more. But I think Pragmata feels good always.
hmm
You know what I mean? Um, it's just kind of funny I had that comparison point this week. But yeah, the dash is my favorite part of the move set for sure. I like the combat puzzle stuff they ask you to do. Like,
yep,
hey, you enter a room, there's a bunch of freaking guns on the ground. They're like, okay,
hmm
I gotta go fight. But then you gotta go like, oh, what's the best way to use this stuff? You know what I
hmm
mean? In what order? Because once you do it once or twice and you kind of like, oh, well, I got kind of cooked on that one. What's a better way to do it? Oh, save this for this baby monster that comes. Like you use it on that robot. And,
yep.
you can start planning that stuff out. I like
Yeah, that
combat puzzles
that
a lot.
resource management aspect of the combat is really
Yeah.
clean in this game. Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I like about Resident Evil, especially. Like, especially in those harder difficulties, they start to become combat puzzles a little bit. And Capcom just
S-
same for Devil May Cry. Like Capcom is very good about the gameplay
Yeah.
strat portion,
I
I
I
would say.
think I like this combat specifically outside of like Resident Evil's combat puzzles because I
That makes
always felt like I had the tools to accomplish the combat puzzle. And I felt I always felt like all my tools were viable tools for completing the combat puzzle. I just
Yeah.
needed to, I needed to use
Execute,
them,
really.
and so that,
Yeah.
yeah, I never felt like there was very few times where I would run out of ammunition on like all my things and would be down to like just my gun, like my base
Right.
kit gun, and even
Mhm.
then I felt like I could accomplish things between my base kit gun and hacking with Diana. So
Yeah, yeah, right, for sure. Um, so yeah, there's some good positives there, I think. On the whole, I think it's a really, really strong first outing for a new IP from
yeah.
Capcom. When is the last time they put out a new IP? I mean,
I mean,
I'm
this
trying to
one
even
hit really strong too. Like, when was the
yeah,
last time they
it's
put
very
out one that
solid.
hit this strong? Like,
I'm trying to remember the last time they put out a new franchise. Like, I don't remember when that is.
the
Like, genuinely,
the first thing that comes to my mind is Monster Hunter. That's probably not it, but
it's probably not, but there's gotta be some, like, little game they made, like
yeah,
Capcom made, like a Mega Man side shoot, but that's still part of
that's
a
still
main
Mega Man.
franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting one to think about. But yeah, I just think it's mostly successful at what it tries to do, and it's definitely top 3 for me this year that I played. Absolutely. Um, some spoiler stuff. Let's get into the ending of this thing.
You're
So,
now
uh,
entering the spoiler zone. Yeah, how long do we
yeah,
want the spoiler zone to
I
continue?
s- I just have a couple questions for you. I'd say 5 minutes is probably fine.
All
Maybe
right. So our spoiler avoiders skip to 5 minutes ahead.
5 minutes ahead. We'll try to do that.
Ooh.
No, we'll be keeping the time on this, and if
Ooh.
we edit something, we will edit something. But
Yeah.
all right. Let me know when you're ready for me to
We're
go.
into
I
the
will.
spoiler zone.
Okay, into the spoiler zone. The end of this game, I'm a little mixed on. I'm a little mixed on it. I think that might be why my rating isn't as high. What do you think about this ending before I get into what
I
I
think
feel?
this ending's really solid.
My issue for now is that I just felt like I don't know. It's sequel bait to the nth degree, like this whole thing, which is fine. But then I don't know where that leaves Diana necessarily because this is a game about being in space. Does that make sense? Like she's on Earth now.
Hmm.
Like where does that leave things? Is the resolution to this found in that portion of the game you're talking about? Is there like a hint to where this is going?
So, and then you get a mod chip which suppresses the spread of the dark filament in humans.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So then you equip that mod chip and you refight 8.
Eight. Yeah.
Everything will play out exactly as normal until you get to when Hugh is knocked back by the thrusts of the ship that's sending Diana
Yeah.
to Earth. Instead, he'll get knocked back into the space station,
Mhm.
and then it'll cut to Diana on the beach there, and then it'll cut to black, and you'll hear Cabin say, "Oh, will there only be one passenger today?"
Okay. Interesting.
So it sounds
Interesting.
like Hugh found a way to get back to Earth, supposedly.
See, I think that I okay. Okay. It's assuming he's going back to Earth.
Yep.
Okay. So are we assuming then? Well, he's definitely alive. Like
He's
exactly what I
definitely
thought.
alive,
Um,
and he's suppressing the black filament, but he's not cured of the black filament. He's just suppressing it
okay.
currently.
So will Pragmata 2 take place on Earth? Is that kind of what
I
is
think
being
it
insinuated?
has to, yeah. I think it has to take
Okay.
place on Earth, unless if they have a mission to another planet to try and cure Hugh of the black filament. Because the crux of the second game, if they do a sequel, it's going to be about trying to cure Hugh of that black filament, right? So,
Okay. Yeah, that's a way to go. My thing about it is that just Diana is just more inherently interesting to me than Hugh is. So that would be fine if that's a good avenue to get more of Diana. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Um, I'm not Hugh averse. I'm just like Hugh neutral. I guess I
Well,
don't know how to explain that.
having Hugh be the crux of it, maybe they fail to get, the way to suppress that, and so Hugh ends up dying in that second game, and then Diana goes a bit berserk. Maybe you don't, could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be a Cortana situation where, rampancy or something
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So is 8 definitively dead? Is that the idea as well?
I think so. I think 8 is
Okay.
definitively dead, yeah. And I think
Okay.
the
Okay.
black filament for now is contained on the moon, but I'm sure in a sequel the black filament will try and escape from the moon.
So another question I had is why would 8 want to spread black filament? Why does
8
she want
wants
to do
to spread black filament because her creator asked her to make everyone suffer like he did. The doctor, when he in his dying breath with 8, he said, "Make them suffer like I did." That's basically what he says. I don't remember word for word what he says, but he's basically
that? Okay.
like, it's basically like a Maria and Shadow the Hedgehog situation, except he actually said, "Go and destroy them." So
Okay. So he's just like straight up just a bad guy then, this character, I assume.
he's grieving heavily because of the loss of his daughter. I don't think that necessarily
Yeah.
makes him a bad guy. He just said the wrong things to the wrong entity, and the entity
Yeah.
took that as a literal command from her creator to, try and destroy the world with the black filament.
Okay. That
And
is an
that's
explanation
the
for
that is
sure.
the end
Yeah.
of the spoiler cast.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Not talking about any more spoilers, but that is an interesting way to go. Um, okay. I will finish that extra stuff and come to conclusions about it. But that is good to be clued in. So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And that's basically Pragmata. We like that game a lot. Um, I'm excited to play more of it at some point. I will probably try to platinum it if possible. I don't know about the lunatic thing. We'll see how it goes. I kind of go how at my pace with that stuff. So, but yeah, cool game. Very cool game. I like that
Yep.
game. Um, to keep on the Capcom train, let's talk more about Capcom games, shall we? You have been seeing if those residents are in fact evil, correct?
Yeah,
You
they get
played
a little
all the way
evil at
through.
night.
They do. It's an evil game.
Yeah.
As our buddy Drake says. Yeah, Noah beat Resident Evil 2. I'm happy that he actually played that game. But is he happy that he played it? Noah, get into it. What do you think
Yep.
of that game?
I'm happy that I played it. I think it's an interesting game. I don't think I wasted my time. Um,
Good.
I don't know if I particularly like that game. I think it has a lot of issues. Mainly, I think that the combat is deceptive in what they want from you a lot of times. Because I think that there's a lot of mechanics in there that they should really do a better job at conveying to the player, who's never like played one of these like actual like survivally Resident Evil games, that are core mechanics that really I don't think the game is fun without understanding these mechanics. Is So these are sort of gunplay mechanics. Really, is the
Yeah.
core like issue I have with the game.
It's like combat philosophy almost
Yeah,
a little bit. You don't maybe necessarily impart the way you want them to.
because the things that I didn't know, one of them I didn't know until long after I beat the game, like just recently I found this out. And then one of them I didn't know until I was, about halfway through the game. So
Yeah.
one of the things I didn't know, and maybe this is a me problem, I don't know, but I didn't realize that the game wants you to cripple some zombies in some rooms instead of like just killing them outright, and then they just get back up. Um, you Some zombies, I think they want you to sort of try and cripple by breaking their or shooting their legs, and then they can't regenerate legs. So um,
Yeah.
I that seems to be a core combat mechanic that I didn't really understand until I was told it by Power. So
Mhm.
maybe that's on me. I don't know, but the point is, it did. Regardless, I'll admit I'm at fault for that, but it still was a sour to my experience. So that's that's a fault with the game, I would say.
I think okay, before you continue, I think what would have helped, and this is me saying this, if I had played it alongside you, maybe I could identify these issues a lot
I don't
quicker.
think that's on you though. I think that's on the game because
Right,
the
I
game
know,
should
but
tell
like
me everything that I need to know about the game.
that's that is true. But I was also playing four alongside you, which we'll get into. And I feel like if I could help, it would maybe have made your experience better. Because this is the thing, like I don't know if this is the right Resident Evil game to start with. I don't know what would be the right one to start with. Um, it's a good place to start for Leon because it's the
Yeah,
beginning of Leon's journey, and
yeah.
he is like the
I played 7
pretty
and I
much the
didn't
ace.
have a single issue with it. I'll start there. Like I played a modern one, right? Seven's a modern one. It's like I would
Yeah.
consider that the first modern one, right? And then
Yes, yeah. Modern style, like new
yeah.
style.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a single problem with that thing. I absolutely loved it. Then I went back and played 2 now, and 2 I really struggled with. There was a lot of things that I didn't understand despite having played 7 and played all of 7. I 100% of that
Yeah.
game. Did all the DLC and everything. And the yeah, it's just something 2 and 7 are completely different games, and I just didn't
Yeah.
realize that, and also I didn't realize that yeah, I didn't realize the shooting legs thing. I also didn't realize until much later that the pistol isn't exactly a weapon for killing zombies. It's more of a weapon for crippling zombies. The
And
Matilda.
yeah, right, right. And it's one of those things that like is a suggestion like, hey, you really can't kill these things. They're basically trying to show you in the gameplay. I think personally, I'm not saying that you didn't have trouble with it, that they're just trying to be like, okay, you just can't kill these things reliably. Maybe just shoot their legs and run past them because that would be
Yeah.
something
And I
something that's picked up in gameplay, right?
yeah, halfway through when I was told that, but I didn't know that the legs were interactable. Like that's I don't play these things, right? I'm not a horror guy,
Right.
so and I don't really watch zombie movies either. So if that's something they do in zombie movies a lot, I wouldn't know. So
Yeah.
but so yeah, so the other thing that was like something that I just found out recently. This is a mechanic I found out recently after having
Yeah.
beaten that game. If you wait for the crosshair to completely focus on your target, then you have a higher chance to basically critical hit with like a headshot so that you can actually pop their heads even with the Matilda.
Right.
I had no idea on that mechanic. I didn't know that was a thing. So
It's a very subtle visual indicator with the crosshair where you're basically moving and it's like widened out, and as you stay still, it kind of goes zoop and focuses in a little bit.
I just thought that was
And that's
improving
something
my accuracy. So
right, but it does improve your accuracy. It does, but also it
it
lets you.
improves your damage basically.
It offers a more higher chance of you getting a critical hit,
Yeah.
which would be a stagger. A stagger would be like them going ah like that,
Yeah.
and getting like the advantage.
And
That's what that would.
it also is able to pop heads so that they don't respawn.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will say most of this stuff is mitigated by getting other weapons for sure. Like the Matilda thing, I understand that,
So even with the shotgun, I would be consistently headshotting with the shotgun, and it just wasn't popping heads. Like I wasn't really popping heads consistently until I got the Magnum, and even then, sometimes it would fail to pop heads. A headshot on a normal zombie with the Magnum,
I
because it's probably because I
right.
wasn't doing that focus thing, But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I feel like it's a multitude of things that like there's some assumptions that they want you to make that maybe aren't described well, and I understand why that would be frustrating. Um, and I basically the vibe I get playing it when I played it the first time was like, oh, this is not a power fantasy until it is. You know what I mean?
I don't
Like,
think that thing is ever really a power fantasy. Like when
see,
I
I
played it.
do because I've beaten it multiple times. I've
You've
seen the
beaten it
power
multiple
of this game.
times, right?
Right, right.
And so you remember those latest playthroughs where you have like the infinite ammo stuff, whatever they give you.
No,
Um,
no, what I'm saying is, like, whenever you get to the point of you can leave this police station and you have all the stuff, you can just mow everything down. You can just do that because they let you craft stuff, they let you pick up stuff. Like, you always have the resources you need to accomplish these tasks, and they have a limited amount of zombies per room that do not respawn. So, like, at some point, if you are just judicious and you're able to just get all this stuff done, you can clear rooms no problem. Um, Even on that first playthrough. But you got to find the right stuff.
you
You
have
got
to
to be
be
like, oh,
like a master at like playing this sort of thing. Like a blind first playthrough guy isn't gonna know how to
I
optimally clear rooms with the limited resources. Like I'm just not gonna
I
know that.
I just disagree with that personally because I think when you get all the stuff and you have all the stuff, you can just do that. Like, I don't think you need to be good at the game or anything. I think you just need to have the resource they've given you to go like, oh, before I leave this area, I'm going to comb every room and find all the stuff before I leave this area because I can't return to it. It inherently, since you basically go room to room collecting all of these tools, you will you will get better and better and better just because of the tools, the amount of tools you get. Like, I just think that is the power curve. That is the power of fantasy. And as you go from area to area, that climb gets higher and higher, and they throw more and more enemies at you. So that's literally what I mean. The scariest parts of Resident Evil are the beginning. Always, always, always. Because by the end, you're in a secret lab underground and you're destroying things. Like, you're fighting lickers and stuff. Like, the curve is always like this. Like, the difficulty curve goes down and down and down just because of the stuff you get. Not even the enemies being harder. That's just how these games are, you know. But it's hard to know that if you haven't played them for the first time. So I understand why that would be
Well,
frustrating. You
maybe
know.
I'm just incapable of playing these things, and maybe I should just give up. Because where I was
Well,
at, where I'm at with it, right? I got to that secret lab, whatever, and
yeah,
I was still struggling with the enemies, even with all the tools that I had. I'd picked up everything along the way. I had all the, strongest upgrades for the weapons, and I had all the weapons and all the ammo. I was picking all that
yeah,
stuff up, crafting all the ammo, whatever. I was always struggling for health. I was always struggling for ammo, and
yeah,
I was always feeling like my guns were just not quite enough for the enemies in any particular area. Especially those
yeah,
last zombies, like the sort of tree type
yeah,
zombies.
yeah.
They're capable of one hit killing you at full health. And
Mhm.
they you shoot them and their heads just don't pop. Again, maybe I'm doing it wrong because I wasn't doing the targeting thing. I don't know, but their heads don't pop ever, even with like a magnum, even with like a fully upgraded shotgun, etc., etc. The only way I ever got those to perma die was with the flamethrower, I think. But I would quickly
That's
run
pretty much,
out of
yeah.
flamethrower ammo, and then I wouldn't have anything left.
So the reason I say Capcom is good at like these tactical situations with combat is, when you're not playing the game with ink ribbons, which is a very classic feature of Resident Evil, they want you to use your save points to experiment. So if you feel like it is not optimized enough, you go like, you know what? I feel like I could have done this better. You can always reload. Like, I think that also they want you to learn the areas over and over. That's kind of why they make the games replayable too, so you become masters of them at some point. Um, and not just by getting like infinite weapons. That's also fun. That's usually just to keep it fresh because you've just done it so much. Um, you know, but like, what I mean power fantasy, I mean that literally as you compare to you using a Matilda in the beginning is so different from the end. You have all these different tools, and sure, the enemies scale with you, but that game is meant to be difficult. It just is. And that is thematically correct too, because Leon's a rookie cop. Okay. And you can excuse this by saying what I'm saying now, that's fine. I just mean, like, thematically it works for me because, like, he's a rookie cop, doesn't have a lot of um experience on the force and all this stuff, so like things are just more daunting and hard to him. And then every entry after this, for, if you want to count six, you can count six, and Requiem, like, you can see his proficiency rise thematically. And by the time you hit Requiem, I cannot stress this enough, he is a literal whirling dervish of death. Like he carries around a machete, and like all the issues he has in Resident Evil 2 are just not an issue. Like it becomes like a horde shooter for him. Like he's just cleaning up. He's like a cleaner, basically. And I think the difficulty curve in 2, it is the hardest one of the remakes, by the way. Um, it is rough. It is rough. It's designed to be that way. It's designed to constantly challenge you, even on further runs. Um, and if you don't like that, that is okay. I think that's okay. That's the way that game is made. But I do think a power fantasy curve exists if you compare the beginning to the end of it, because that's just how these games are. Like the hardest parts at the beginning and the scariest part at the beginning, and then it just tapers off from there. Um, I think.
I
So
think the game was difficult, consistent,
yes, that's
consistent
I agree with
difficulty.
you.
So,
Yep, I agree. I agree. It is a very difficult game. 4 is less so, and so is Requiem. Requiem is not that hard.
but
Uh,
I mean,
yeah,
I mean, I can't see it as a power fantasy, but I thought it was interesting as a survival game.
yeah.
As a survival horror game, I thought it was interesting. So, um,
Do you kind of get what I mean, though? Like, I mean power fantasy in the way where, like, oh, this gun doesn't gun, is what you're saying, but then you end up getting rocket launchers at the end. Like, that's what a power fantasy is.
okay, you get the rocket launcher for the final boss.
You can get rocket launchers. I mean, you can just get them at some point. What I'm saying is like your resources are just not what they are at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, like it's not what a normal cop is getting either. Like
No,
it's genuinely a
absolutely
power
not.
fantasy. Like these guns don't exist in a police department. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
why it's fantastical.
Yep.
Is kind of what I. But
Yep.
I do agree with you on the difficulty stuff. I do. It is a hard game. It's a very hard
Yep.
game. And I understand why it's frustrating. I don't think you're wrong with any of your criticisms. I really don't. It's a sunshine issue. You know what I mean? Like the things that you identify about sunshine, I also identify about this because they're true. They are valid criticisms. Um, I'm not saying you didn't even play it right. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, basically my thing is like I don't know what the perfect Resident Evil game to start with would be. Probably 4, I think. Probably. It's the
Yeah.
most playable, like for sure,
Yeah.
besides Requiem.
4 is
Um,
very playable. Yep. I
yeah,
still think 4 has a lot of bite to it though. Not as much as
yeah,
2, but 4 has a lot of bite to it. It's still pretty
yeah.
difficult at parts.
Just the standard difficulty of 4. Like
Yep.
I played that game twice last week, and I was still getting my ass whooped. Like I just was,
Yeah.
you know.
And you were using like really good equipment. It sounded like you were using
Uh-huh.
like the
I had
Magnum equipment, like the
yeah,
I don't
infinite magnum, infinite rocket launcher. Yeah,
yeah.
I was
I'm playing
good
through
with it.
that thing. I guess we maybe segue. I think we're good with
Yeah,
2.
I think we've talked enough about it. Yeah,
I completed 2. Just yeah, for the record, I completed it. That game is fine. I think that people who like that thing continue liking it. I'm not gonna stop you. I think that thing's okay. I don't want to play it again. I don't have any
yeah,
desire to play that thing, touch that thing again. I did
yeah.
my time
I
with
will
it.
say, I will say, I'm very happy you got to see it.
Yep.
That's what I want.
I liked the
Just to see,
story.
because like
I liked the story. The story was
yeah,
interesting. Yep.
the story's interesting. Ada is a cool character.
Yep.
Leon is really cool. 4 also
Okay.
continues with that. Before we get into 4, I guess for me, since I'm a horror person and I like horror video games, I love that struggle and in that resource stuff. If you don't like that, that is totally your preference. I love that stuff.
I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I just don't want
Yeah,
to deal with it again. Basically,
I totally understand. I understand.
it was
Yeah,
almost like a chore at a certain point to get through that thing.
yeah,
And maybe with the knowledge I have now, I could do better. But I just don't have any interest in returning to that thing. So
that makes total sense to me. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, to segue into 4.
yeah. So
Anything?
real quick with the Ada stuff, you remind me of one more criticism I had. The hacking stuff with Ada, that's not very 1998. That's not very 1998. Like
It's
it's
not.
very advanced hacking. Like that's like
Yeah.
Watch Dogs hacking. Like what are we doing, Capcom? Like come on, this is supposed to be a period piece. It's a little
It
silly.
is. Like RE2 is a period piece. I do like that they did that. So they remade that game, but they are very clear because they that first one came out in '98. The like remake, or sorry, RE2, the original
Yeah.
before the remake came out in
Yep.
1998. I love how they kept that year.
Yep.
The thing about Resident Evil that is interesting is the characters age in real time with us as gamers.
Yeah.
So genuinely, Leon in Requiem is 49 years old.
So that
Like you
that
don't
that game
know
takes place in 2026, is what you're saying?
it's very similar to our time. It's very
Yeah.
similar. Maybe not to the year,
Okay.
but it's like it's modern era. It
Yeah,
is.
that's cool.
Most franchises don't do that, and I
No.
think that's really interesting. So when you say that, I'm like, yeah, it is a period piece because they like that's kind of their shtick a little bit, so they
Hmm.
can phase out old characters, bring new characters in. Like
Yep.
that's kind of what is happening in Requiem, especially with like Leon, kind of the old dog with all the old tricks, and Grace as the new blood. They're
Yep.
kind of doing that.
Yep.
So, yeah, totally. Yeah,
And
I
they
do
did
agree with
that
you.
with Ethan as well for 7, and I think 8 as well. I didn't get around to 8, but
I think you like it. Yeah,
yeah, I probably
on
would.
this age, we'll get to it. But yeah, I 2 is a period piece. 4, it feels very of its era that way too. Because what was that? Was that 2005? I think it was 2005 or 6 that it came out on GameCube. Um, and it does feel like it could take place in those years because there's they have like PDAs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like the Palm Pocket era. It feels very like
I
we're not
I
quite at the phone all the way everywhere, but
So yeah, you do pick up a flip phone belonging to
yeah,
Ashley in that.
that's right.
Yep. So she does have a flip
Which is
phone.
it's period accurate.
Yep.
You got the QWERTY buttons, everything. Yeah,
Yep.
totally.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the series is that real time push and pull they have with just every new entry being
Yeah.
something in real time.
I,
Um
I just had an issue with the hacking, so I thought it was a little out of the period.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so I guess because Ada and Leon are in 4 as well. What do you think of them before we get into 4? What do you think of them and
Yeah,
their
they're
story?
they're interesting characters. I didn't expect the twist with Ada being a mercenary. I didn't expect that. I
Yeah,
I guess spoilers for an old game, but um, I
yeah.
I yeah, I really thought she was like an FBI agent here to help the situation, and then the scientist is like, "Hey, she's not on the up and up," and then it's like, "Oh, maybe she's not on the up and up," and she's like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm not on the up and up, buddy."
She's she's more gray, but she leans towards the bad end of that,
Yeah,
just because of her job.
yeah.
She's she has a soft spot towards Leon, which I
Hmm.
think is very sweet. But then she's like, I still got to sell this formula
I gotta
though.
make that
So,
cash. Gotta make those stacks. Come
get it?
on.
Umbrella. They're showering me with dineros. What can I? Um, yeah, that basically that stuff is very. Initially, you're just like, okay, what is she doing here? Like she doesn't. She's like this shadowy figure for like 3/4 of that game of
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, but she's helping me, but she's kind of not like what is her deal?
Yeah,
I
and then
think
she
that's
just
really
dies. She just dies, and then you're like, oh, she's dead. I thought this was a major character. And then, you're fighting the final boss, and she's like, hey, I think you could use this rocket launcher. And he's like, hey, I think I could use this rocket launcher. And then you use the rocket launcher, and
yeah.
Mr. X goes bye bye. He doesn't
Yes,
survive
he
a
does.
rocket launcher too well.
No, he has all the appearances of being dead for sure. Like he gets it pretty good into.
Maybe he
Um,
comes back. I have no idea, but
who can say?
yeah,
Who
but
can
he's like half of him is gone, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
You probably won't play 3 at least right now. 3 takes place. I don't know if it's concurrently with 2, but it's in the same 1 to 2 day period at 2.
mhm.
There is a Mr. X equivalent there called Nemesis.
But I don't think
Basically,
it's the
they took
same
that.
guy though, right?
It's not. I
Yeah.
think Mr. X is a prototype Nemesis, and
Hmm.
Nemesis is the hey big bad.
It's
We're
like a
doing this.
bio weapon guy. Yeah.
We're putting these guys into production. This is the
Yep.
first crack at it. And yeah, there's a little bit of that in 3. Basically, they took that mechanic from original 2 and they just broke it out into a full game in 3, where he's
Yeah.
just following you the entire time, or at least most of the time.
That sounds kind of
Anyway,
really annoying.
people don't like original 3 that much. The reboot is okay, like well regarded in comparison to three. Three has some issues with that stuff, for sure. People prefer two
I
over
didn't
three,
really
obviously.
like the Mr. X parts of
No, they're not awesome. They're
no.
okay. I mean, they don't go on for that long either.
No,
Like
they're fairly
so.
inoffensive, I guess. They were just slightly annoying.
And
I
if you were like me and you just had been walking around, you're like, okay, I can get around this guy. It's not terrible. So
Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to fight back a little bit, and I knocked
you
off
shoot
his
his little hat off.
hat.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you
I
did.
got an achievement, but then our buddy
At what
Ethan told
cost?
me that made him go faster. I'm like, oh no.
Yep. No, as soon as his hat gets shot off, he goes like, and he goes, oh, he starts hustling towards you. You're like, ah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I
Or,
made a mistake.
um,
I didn't know.
for sure.
I was trying to
But
fight
anyway, I
back.
guess right, right. Yeah, I guess my original question here is like, oh, what'd you think of Leon
Yep,
and
yep,
Ada?
yep.
Um, it's really interesting to see how Leon grows through the series. I
Sure.
think it is the best thing that they do. Six has a little bit of Leon that I like. It's a very different take on Leon, I will say.
Hmm.
I like how the remakes are unifying Leon as a character with the same actor, which is important. Like in six, he's voiced by Matthew Mercer. But I'm used to the remake version where it's one dude doing different stages of Leon's voice.
Hmm.
Um, it's yeah, I think I like that better. Um, but anyway, that's kind of here or there. But just seeing that progression of like his confidence rising, almost like he's just becoming more seasoned, is really cool. Like four is like peak of his powers. Like I am Leon S rank Kennedy. Like that is literally him. Um, you know, headshots and one liners galore. Like he is
Yep,
the most action doofus blockbuster guy you can get.
yep.
Um, like he's saying some real dumb stuff in this game in a really awesome way. Um, yeah, what do you feel about four? I guess in totality, what do you feel about Leon? Let me know your thoughts at least initially.
Yeah, so I'm probably halfway through that thing. I'm like on chapter like maybe 6 or 7, somewhere around there. And
Okay, yeah, you have 16 chapters,
yeah.
just so you know. So,
Um and I think Leon's cool in the game. I think he's a cool guy. I mean I liked
yeah,
Leon in 2 as well. So I didn't have issues with the story of that game, and I don't have issues with the story of 4 really. I think it's interesting.
yeah, yeah,
Gameplay wise, I think that I am more adept at the systems of Resident Evil now.
yeah,
I'm you know I'm not even trying to like cripple zombies in this game though. Like zombies just kind of stay dead in this game compared to 4 where they just don't, or compared to 2 to where they don't really want to stay dead. They do just stay dead in 4. So like you
yeah.
kill a
They,
zombie, it
they
just stays dead.
they also throw a lot more at you in
They
this
throw a
game.
lot more, but they
Yeah,
stay dead. And so and your gun's gun, like any gun that you pick up and shoot, it's gonna kill a zombie eventually. It might take like a full
it is
clip
an
of
action.
bullets, but it's going to
Yeah,
take down a zombie eventually. Um,
right, right. It is an action game for sure. Like over the first one, it is an action game.
yeah, I even noticed like some zombies where I would think like oh I can't kill this thing. I would like try and
Yeah,
engage with it, and then eventually it would go down. I'm like oh I can kill that thing. Okay, I just have to throw a lot
yeah.
of resources at it. Um,
Yep.
I will say there have been a couple times where I've gotten slightly low on resources in this game.
Yeah.
And then I would get to like a major encounter or a major boss fight, and they would just shower me with ammo, like
Yep.
a
Yep.
hundred rounds to Gryffindor, sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
showering.
Yeah.
So, but
Totally.
yeah. So I mean, the resource management has been a lot less in this game. It's still interesting, I think, but it's a lot
Mhm.
like less to the bones, I guess, than
Yeah.
two. So I kind of
I
like
agree.
that in terms of like what this game's going for.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that it's been fun, actiony, goofy at times.
Yeah.
The fight with the big fish, I really enjoyed. You throwing the
Yeah. I
harpoons
like
at the big fish, it's fun.
that is fun.
But yeah, I've liked it so far. Okay, I've kind of put it down for a bit. I'm planning on going back to it. I
Yeah.
just Need a break from the
Totally.
Resident Evils. They're not really my genre. I'm just trying to branch out a bit with that. So,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you're
but
doing that.
I've liked it okay. So, and I
That's
thought
good.
the story's
That's
still the best part of this one. I mean, story's most
yeah.
interesting part. I like the setting of this one too. I think the setting's really interesting in this one, even compared to like the second
Yeah.
one. I think the setting of 4 is
Mhm.
really interesting. I think the sort of backdrop of like this cult organization's really interesting. So, I like it.
Yeah. There's the Spanish countryside, like in like very rural Spanish stuff, with some Gothic architecture is really cool.
I would say the only issue I have with it is that they think that the Spanish countryside looks like Blighttown from Dark Souls.
To be fair, there might be some like Spanish for Spain. Like this is Spain, not like Spanish
Mm-hmm.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
Spain. It's very mountainous, very rural. A lot of like castle ruins sort of situations, you know. Um, there is a lot of like rickety freaking scaffolding, like
Mm-hmm.
Blighttown. Will grant you,
Mm-hmm.
especially in that village area. But there's a lot of interesting biomes that you kind of go through there's like a uniting visual theme of like very dreary, bleak, overcast sort of thing. It's very like Spanish Gothic, very Catholic Gothic, I would say, which I do like a lot. It's very, very different from pretty much any one of those games because I think almost all of them takes place in North America, if I want to say. I think okay, so one definitely takes place there. Two, three, four is in Spain. Five is in Africa, actually. Five is in Africa. Six is all over the world. It is crazy how
Oh wow.
expansive six is. Dude, six is in like nine different places. It's
That's
like
really
they
weird.
got the but okay, five was so successful for them after the explosion of four. Like
Mm-hmm.
five was the best selling game for years. And so they got carte blanche to make whatever they wanted. And six is like Gonzo Resident Evil in a way that is super interesting to me. It's not good, but it's really interesting. Um, seven, seven is in Louisiana. You know that.
Yeah.
Seven's in Louisiana.
Sounds real good.
Eight is actually okay. So I guess it might be split a little bit. Eight is definitely not. Eight's in like I don't know, like Lithuania or something. Like it's like in a
Transylvania,
weird
blah blah blah.
whatever. Yeah, it's
I don't
basically
know.
it's not here. And then Requiem is definitely in the States, like for sure. It's like in like uh kind of countryside New York kind of
Okay.
sort of thing. Um so yeah, like they kind of split it a little bit evenly. There's more American settings to not, but the Spanish setting is by far it's a singular setting to the franchise for sure. And then you have like Resident Evil Revelations, whatever. It takes place on a boat, like that stuff. It's not kind of what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
well, Revelations 1, you were like running around in a house because I played the demo for Resident Evil Revelations
One,
1 back
you probably yeah.
back on
Yeah,
3DS. I played that demo.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah, that was my
yeah.
first Resident Evil game. Was that demo of Revelations on 3DS.
That is a good game. I need to finish that one.
People
That
like
one.
those Revelations games. That's what I hear.
I know they like the first one. I haven't heard much about the second one at all. Like
Hmm,
not good or bad. So,
weird.
um, you play as do you play as Claire in
The first one
Revelations?
is Jill.
Okay, is it Jill? Is it
Hmm.
Jill? Okay, maybe it's Jill.
Yep.
Jill is also in Resident Evil 3. She's the main character in 3.
She's in 1 as
Um,
well, isn't she?
Jill's in 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jill's in 1.
She's like the main
For
character of like Resident Evil, besides like Leon.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of like basically the protagonist you'll most play as is Leon is the one you definitely play as the most. Then Jill, and then Claire Redfield, who is the second portion of Resident Evil 2. You'll play as her. And
Resident
then
Evil 1
Ethan
has
Winters.
Chris as well, doesn't it? Chris and
Chris
Jill
is
is
also the B
Resident Evil
campaign.
1. Yeah.
Chris is the B campaign, but people don't like him as much because of his he doesn't have enough pockets. He doesn't have as many pockets as Jill does, right? I think it's Jill. Um yeah, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of like and then 6 has like four different companions, like or four different paths. You play as Leon, Chris, Jake, who is Wesker's son, and then Ada. Like four dude, that game is nuts. It is crazy. They tried to eat 40 cakes
Does he go
and
like?
they try to make him eat it too.
Does he go like? I am Jake, son of Wesker.
Well, no, I wish he did because that would be cool. Because Wesker sounds sick. We need to play Resident Evil 5. That's a good game. I really like that game. I maintain that. That's a very good co-op game. We both have that on Switch. We should
Yeah,
play that. But yeah, Wesker's
I
got
would
this like nasally like
like.
rich man
It's
thing that
awesome.
Jake doesn't have. Jake is like
7
this kind
minutes
of
is
like
all I
punk
have
boy.
to spare for you.
7 minutes. Yeah, exactly. That boss fight is very good. But Jake is like he's played by Troy Baker, so he's kind of like got this. Hey, I'm this punk brash guy. You're not going to pay me any money. I don't want to hear it. That's what Jake sounds like.
Fair
He's kind of
enough.
a douchebag.
Fair enough.
I'm like, did you even hang out with your dad once?
Yeah. Have you met
Like
your dad? He's cool.
exactly. He is cool, and Wesker also a bunch of games too. Um, but I guess like yeah. Four is I guess if I had to pick, it's Four and Requiem. They're like right here. Like basically, my thing is I'm trying to decide what's the best one. So I'm going back to the ones that I've played and maybe replaying them and trying to get all the stuff. But I'm starting with the two that I like the most, which is Resident Evil 4 and Requiem. Like once I finish those, I'm gonna be able to decide which one I like more, and that's gonna be like, hey, that is definitely the best Resident Evil game for me. That's kind of my goal here because I beat four twice. I want to take a little break from that because I did that recently, and I might just go play Requiem again because I have like 15 more trophies to platinum that. So
That's
I mean,
crazy.
dude, I'm on a tear right now. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Resident Evil 4 was my favorite for a long time because I played the original. I was very well versed in the original. I played it 2019, 18, not too long ago. Um, on PS4, regular PS4. I just played like the HD
Yep.
gussied up version of
Yep.
the GameCube version. And there's a little interesting. There's like particularities in that one that four doesn't have. Like for instance, in Resident Evil 4 original, you can't move and shoot. Like you stop in your tracks when you aim.
Yeah.
Same for five actually. Five does this as well. It was only up until six that they decided to change that, and make it more modern that way, which is interesting. But four, the remake goes away from that, and they go like, no, you can just move.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they made the right stuff change to make sense for the kind of the modern era that it's in. And like you said, it's really playable. Four is super playable.
Yep.
Like it's the most arcadey, the most fun. Honestly, like I was like, okay, I need to get my sea legs underneath me, and I also need to get this infinite magnum. So I'm gonna play mercenaries for a minute, which is their horde mode. And it was within 5 minutes, I was just popping heads and hitting combos and stuff. I'm like, okay, I got it. I got it already. And then I proceeded to beat Resident Evil 4 that weekend again. So it's very, very playable. I love that game to pieces. I think okay, so I played it for the first time this year, this remake. It took me forever to get to it. I played it in what, like February? I remember talking to you about it. Um, and I think this is my fourth time beating it, I think. I started a fourth file. I've definitely beaten it three times for sure. So, and I've beaten Requiem twice already this year, and I'm probably going to do it one or two more times. So, yeah, like it sounds like it's a lot, but those games are kind of short once you know what to do, and you're skipping cutscenes to just do trophy stuff. So, like, you just throw a podcast on after watching the game 4 or 5 times or whatever it is, and you just know where to go. And I kind of like it for that. But anyway, I love four a lot. I'm glad you're digging it. There's a lot more to chew on with Ada and Leon in this one, I think, which is good. Which is good. I gotta say too, I'm not a gooner. Okay, I'm not a gooner. Ada's costume is so sick. It looks so awesome. It's an upgrade from the original too. The
Yeah.
upgrade, she's like in just like this red dress with like, she's got like the tactical
Yeah,
belt on her
it's just
hip
not
and
very
stuff.
tactical all around. Like the red dress
No,
just doesn't work.
it looks like a ballroom gown that she's like retrofitted. This is like no, she's super secret spy. She's wearing like a sweater, like turtleneck, and it
Yep.
looks super sick. I love the things they've changed with that. I will say Leon's jacket not as cool as in the original, at least at the beginning. But that's just my
The bomber
anyway.
jacket?
I think the bomber jacket in the original is better. I do.
Huh?
I do think the original is better. That's a preference thing for me because I'm very close to that game. But yeah, you'll finish that when you get some time, I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm glad you're playing through it for sure. It is crucial that you do play these two to understand the weight of the stuff in Requiem because they do a lot of callbacks. And Capcom was like, oh, we should make this the first entry or something for people. I'm like, you can't do that. Like, I know you want to get people to play your game, and it's going to be popular regardless, but like, it's it's kind of inherently hard to get people into a long franchise like that. Um, but I just like I feel like people have to have played at least 2 and 4 to understand what's going on in Requiem with Leon.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Um, anyway, that's enough for Resident Evil. So enough Capcom. We've talked enough about it. I love those games dearly. It's one of my favorite series, probably. It's got to be like top 5. I would have to rank my favorite franchises sometime. Um, but Resident Evil was up there. Like in terms of hit rate, like besides 6, every one of them is like really good, I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I think
So,
you'd probably rank Bubsy a little bit higher than that, you'd say, right? Bubsy the cat?
wrong. You're wrong.
Oh, okay. It's Concord. You put Concord above it, I'd say.
Moving on. Noah, tell me about an old favorite that's not Bubsy. Let's talk about Bloons TD6.
Yeah!
Maybe the most neutral I have ever been on a
It's
video game.
crazy. You don't want to hear about it. You don't want to see it. You don't want anything to do with it.
Good.
I don't get it. What? How can I sell you on this game if you're not even willing to engage with the attacking of monkeys on the balloons, the evil plastics? It's really a microcosm of the microplastics invading our society and slowly killing us. See, we are the monkeys popping the balloons, and the balloons are the microplastics killing us.
They're really just globalists trying to take over, get microplastics in our balls.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no,
That's
I'm
right.
not.
That's right. That's what the balloons are. That's what the balloons are. Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. I'm dying right now. Let me defend myself, okay?
Okay.
I have no defense.
You
I
have
have no
no
defense.
defense. You have no
Let me
defense.
defend myself though. Hold it. Hold up. I don't think anything about this game is interesting in any way. And I'm choosing not to engage with it, not because I don't want to have an opinion. It's because I want to have a neutral opinion of something. I never ever have something that's not a hot take, and I'm choosing this one to be the not hot take game. Does that make
No,
sense?
don't do that with balloons. Choose anything else. Balloons is awesome. You gotta try out balloons, okay? You gotta just
I
give
don't
it
know.
a whirl. Give it a whirl.
Okay,
Just
okay.
toss down a
You
few
know what?
dart monkeys, pop a few balloons, and all of a
Do you
sudden
really wanna
you
know?
blink, and you have 250 hours in the thing. It's crazy.
Do you really want to know what it was for me? You said macro, and I hated that. I don't want to do it. Who wants to do macros? I didn't want to do it. I heard macros, and my brain went like low battery, and I was like, I don't want to know what he means
That's
by
crazy.
this. I can't
Oh,
handle
okay.
it.
So sometimes you have to like micromanage like a tower. Like some towers you'll need to like micromanage like where they're targeting.
Already done. Already done. My
Oh
brain
my
is left.
gosh.
Already done. It's leaking out my
Oh
headphones.
my
Already done.
gosh. You don't even
Can't
have to
do it.
use those towers. You don't even. I'll
Where's the
use those
gun? Can I
towers.
roundhouse these monkeys? Where's the gun? Where's the gun?
I'll.
I don't darts. No
No,
darts. We don't like darts.
There's sniper monkeys. There's sniper monkeys. There's helicopter monkeys. There's
Oh,
airplane monkeys.
I don't like sniper monkeys. I don't like helicopter monkeys. No.
You wanted guns. I just gave you guns.
But sniper monkeys, though, I don't like that. I don't
What's
like
wrong with him? What did he do to you?
No, I'm not a sniper monkey guy.
Oh my god.
Hey,
What
real
about
quick,
the
real quick, let's play
Gatling
a game.
gun monkey? What about the Gatling gun monkey?
Yeah, I don't like the Gatling gun.
Oh.
Introduce a monkey. I'll tell you why I don't like it.
You're not telling me anything. You're just saying I don't like him. You're not giving me a good reason. You're just being unreasonable. You're being unreasonable.
Okay,
You're not allowed to have
okay.
an opinion on this game until you played it.
That's the point. That's the point. I don't want an opinion. My brain is opinioned out. I don't need any more video games to have opinions on. I'm choosing this one to be my freaking Alamo.
All right. Well, I guess we have nothing to discuss on Bloons Tower Defense 6 then, if you're not wanting to engage with it.
No. You are. You engage with it. Tell me about Bloons TD6, Noah.
It's fun.
Are you sure about that? I didn't think Bloons was gonna get me like this. Oh man. Okay, so Bloons. So okay, My real issue. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the actual issue. This is the crux. I'm going to tell you something actually tactile here. I see Bloons and I see that logo and I get so mobile game itchy. I'm like, no thanks. I
I
just
mean,
don't want it. It looks like a TikTok second screen explainer thing. Like, oh, watch this while you're hearing this guy talk about philosophy or something. That's what that game looks like to me.
yeah, it's visual stimulus. That the game, like that's what that game is. It's meant
I
for your monkey brain is supposed to look at that, and it's supposed to be like, ooh, ooh, balloon go pop, very fun, very nice. I like dopamine, please.
Mm. If I wanted that, I'll go to Balatra. I get my drugs just fine.
Sure, that's mobile gaming to me. So I mean, that's like second screen
No.
mobile gaming to me.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Playing poker. You're playing poker hands, Noah. Don't you
You
see
can
it?
play Texas Hold'em on your phone, dude. I don't know if you know that. You can go on the App Store. It's right there. It's next to
Oh.
Blackjack.
It's also named Bloons TD6, which sounds like the most freaking diabolical mobile game that's ever been made for like, oh, I'm trying to macro your wallet, idiot. Give me all your fucking money.
No, they made 6 of them. They started out as Flash games, and then eventually they just evolved over time, and now they're full games with their own engine and all that good stuff, and they have a 3D engine going on for the monkeys, and it's cool. And it makes your computer scream at the higher rounds. If you try and play free play and you have a lot of things going on, your computer just starts dying in agony. That mine does too. It's funny. Everyone's computer starts dying in agony. The game like turns into like a slideshow, and everyone's like trying to like engage with the game, but they're doing it at like a slideshow level because you're all like trying to like your networks are trying to keep connected with all this lag, and it's so funny. It's so funny. Like it's horrible, right? It's a horrible experience trying to play that thing free play. Like if you're not just playing like the core gameplay of like 100 rounds, kill the balloons. That's impoppable. That's what most people do. If you just want to play that thing casually, you just toss on impoppable. You kill the balloons. Fun times, right? But if you're wanting to go beyond that, that's when you go into free play and you start to create chaos and the game screams at you. Your computer screams at you, and it's fun.
I'm glad you like Bloons TD6, Noah. I wish I liked Bloons. I wish I had thought anything about Bloons, if I'm honest with you.
Sure, yeah, it's just dumb fun that I've been playing with a lot of our friends recently. Yeah, I got back into it a bit, just trying to kind of play it, with friends. Really, I'm not really looking to play it a whole lot solo, but
Okay, the thing that tickles me the most about whenever someone brings up this Bloon game to me, because it's been on a lot of chats. Everyone's been playing this game. It's been something that Drake's been playing, the Slate's been playing, friends of the show. And every time someone asks me, I go, I have no opinion of this. And everyone is dumbfounded. And I kind of like that. I like that mystique I'm building.
Mystique. Now you think you're Mystique from
Yeah.
X-Men?
I'm
You're
so
blue. You're
I'm
blue.
so mystique. I'm
Oh
so
my
mystique.
gosh.
Oh, you like that? I knew you'd like that. Everyone, I just want to be popular. Ask me questions. Ask me questions. I love being asked questions and having no answer. People going, "Oh, it's my favorite." I love it.
You're not popular. You'll never be popular. This show sucks. This show sucks.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of things that you think that suck, I'm playing Indie Slop again. Are you ready to hear about Indie
I
Slop?
don't think Indie Slop sucks. I never said that. Don't get it twisted. It's just Indie Slop. That's just a name. That's a nomenclature. I call things I like slop. I call my Souls like games. They're Soul slop. Action RPGs are action RPG slop. Fishing games are fishing slop. It's all the same. It's all slop. All slop to me.
Well, slop all the way down. On the docket for Indie Slop for me has been 2 games. One new and one not so new. I've been playing initially Dosa Divas. Dosa Divas. So this is a really interesting game. This is from Outer Loop. I think they are they're like is it Indian or Pakistani like development group primarily. Really interesting stuff that they've made. They made Falcon Age. They made Thirsty Suitors, which is kind of like this like turn-based, um, kind of like dating simulator thing. They make a lot of weird stuff. Really interesting games. And Dosa Divas is the next kind of entry in their development history. And basically, it's what they've done kind of in the past being brought forward into like a even more of an RPG. So like Falcon Age is basically like this like Indian slash Pakistani descent. I actually don't know their descent. I need to do some research on it. But anyway, there's a very particular like society that they depict in their games, like this culture that they bring forward, right? Falcon Age has a lot of this. Thirsty Suitors is all about that. And then Dosa Divas is like, hey, yeah, you're going to be like cooks on this like bus that like runs around and stuff, and they cook in this like dream realm and make all these like interesting ethnic recipes and stuff. And the corporation that's doing all this fast food is challenging you in your business, and you have to fight off their corporate lawyers and turn-based RPG stuff, and it's really good. I like that game. Dosa Divas is very fun. But the setting is this: you are I think you're sisters. I'm pretty sure you're sisters. There's like two sisters that are together, kind of on this like, I guess it's like a Gundam food truck, pretty much is kind of the idea. And yeah, Noah is just like he's like his mind is racing. He's so excited about all these things I'm telling him.
No.
Um, and don't no opinions yet. I'm not done. I'm not done. Um, and basically like the background is like, oh, two sisters are allied together to make a restaurant. One is opposing them in this corporate way, going like, your food sucks, you're never gonna go anywhere, I have all these corporate fast foods, blah. It's called Lena meals. You can't handle the corporate structure, baby. I'm gonna put you out of business forever. I'm gonna kill you because I hate you. I'm your ugly, mean little sister. And so you're like, oh dang. So you have to fight them in these fighter lawyers in these turn-based RPG battles that involve food. Like you do like I'm gonna tenderize you, and you do like a punching thing with your robot, and um, yeah, it's just a very like food infused kind of JRPG, but with like Indian slash Pakistani ethnic themes. And I think that's really interesting. You don't see a lot of this sort of setting depicted in games, I guess. Um, I haven't played a ton of it. I've only played a couple hours of it, but from what I've tried, it's been very good. So it'll be one of these indie games I kind of pick out through the year, and we'll see how far I get in it. But I actually heard it promoted on Giant Bomb. I was like, oh right, this thing's coming out. I wanted to check it out, and it's like I think I bought it for like 16, $17. It was cheap. 9-10 hour game, so it's definitely worth your money if you're interested in these sort of like small scale indie JRPG style games. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I don't know if I like any of the characters yet. I don't know if I like the story yet, but there's a lot of interesting food stuff that I think it's nice to see it depicted with this kind of wrapping around it, if that makes sense. No, you're smiling. What is your problem? You got a problem with me? What's going on?
No,
You want to fight?
it's interesting.
What you
I,
is
I'm
it?
I'm
Is it though?
I'm just neutral on this game, is all.
Wow! I knew he was going to do this. I think he has kind of like a quizzical smirk on his face. I don't quite understand it. He's choosing to be neutral on this game that I'm bringing up.
Yeah.
Noah's his Alamo is Dosa Divas and mine is Bloons TD6.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, that game is good. I will be playing more of it, but that's kind of all for this edition. And then the other indie slop game is I think you would probably like this one because you do like some visual novel stuff from time to time, and you like kind of like Japanese anime stylings of things. And this kind of looks like that. It's called Battle Chef Brigade. It came from Trinket Studios. It was an Adult Swim publishing game when they still published video games. They don't do that anymore because they don't exist anymore. Adult Swim publishing, which is kind of weird. But it's basically a match three with also cooking, which is cool. It's very delicious in dungeon, where you hunt monsters and you cook them up and you compete in these like um you compete in these like tournaments to be like top chef and stuff. It's like Iron Chef by way of Delicious in Dungeon, with really nice art. It's a visual novel for the most part. I think it's anywhere from 2 to 5 hours to just finish all of it, and I really like it. So the gameplay kind of is like this: like you play as this main character named Mina Han. I like her design too, by the way. She's very good. Voice acting also great around. It's a very really well voice acted game. I like that. So it seems like a lot of the budget was dedicated towards that in Battleship Brigade, which I appreciate. But the gameplay kind of goes like this: like you have a bunch of like it's like a 6 chapter story, I believe, and every chapter you're kind of talking to people around town, kind of a left to right, walking back and forth. It kind of reminds me of Hunch and Line, Last Defense Academy, where you're kind of just walking back, or Danganronpa, where you're going kind of left to right to talk to people or challenge them or do puzzle quests, whatever. And the gameplay is match three. So like basically the cooking aspect of it is you have 3 elements that you're kind of juggling in this like pot, this melting pot, and you get different pots to make the match three turn to match two or whatever. Like they give you different tools throughout the story, like you're preparing the meal, right? And so the kind of the gameplay of it is like I'll be in a challenge. Someone will say, "Hey, you have to incorporate this monster in your meal, and you have to have these elements in your meal as well. Like they have to be the most prevalent, right? You can have like water in there, but I really want fire and earth in there. Like you got to make sure those are the things I want, right? And you have to kind of like prepare the meal accordingly in a time limit. Once you've kind of harvested these monsters. And so basically, like it goes like, oh, ready, set, go. You run to your side of the kitchen, very Iron Chef style, very like supermarket sweep or whatever, and gather your groceries, which is literally killing monsters and bringing their parts back. And you bring them to your like cabinet. You prepare them. Usually the pots are match three, but if you have elemental pots, they go to match two. And you're just trying to get better versions of like your little elemental orbs to make the dish taste better. And you get graded on it at the end of a match, basically. And if you win, you continue on. You can't really lose. Like if you lose a match, you just try again, basically. Um, but yeah, I think it's really great. It's one of my favorite match threes I've played in a while. I can't think of many I have played in a while, but this is a very engaging one of those. And they do a lot with the mechanics throughout the story. They Nothing kind of outstays its welcome for that long because it's a very short game. They kind of have to be pretty expedient with their systems and stuff like that. But I find it really fun. It's a really fun game. It's a game that's kind of old now. It came out in 2017, I believe. And I'm just now getting to it. I don't know why. I've been kind of looking at it. I'm like, I just want to play something very breezy and quick and very visual novelty, which I told you at the beginning of the year. I wanted to play some more visual novels. So I played VA11 Holiday, this, Pentiment, Disco Elysium, trying to bounce back and forth, see what I want to play. And this is one of those. So I'm almost done with it. Really enjoying it. The story is very engaging, very interesting, but very delicious in dungeon, like I mentioned. There's a lot of good stuff in there that is very similar stuff. Um, and yeah, I recommend that game. I think you would like that. What is your history with match threes? Like Bejeweled, kind of like what ones have you played ever?
Yeah, Bejeweled? Uh,
Pretty much Bejeweled, right?
Zuma? Zuma, is that a match three?
I would say, yeah,
I
that's a
like
match three,
Zuma.
right?
I like Zuma. Zuma's cool. I played that a
Zuma,
lot as a kid.
that was very good on 360
I
when they put
played
that
it
on
on
the
PC
360.
as a kid, yep. Um,
Oh, I want to play Zuma
the
right now.
Yeah, I want to play some Zuma. They
Real.
call me the Zuma Zoomer, buddy. All right.
That's what I've been saying about you the whole
Yeah.
time.
No,
Yes,
no, that's what they call me.
absolutely. Hmm.
But I mean, I played Dialogue. Dialogue is like a twisting match
Yeah,
three puzzle game. So that game was fun.
that's basically what you're doing here. Yeah, you use these shoulder buttons to move the elements in a way to link up those matches. Right,
Yep.
same thing, same type deal.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's always on sale too. Like if you see it for $2-3, I would cop it. It's a very good game. Battleship
Nice.
Brigade. So yeah,
Yeah.
little segue there for sure.
Yeah, I put that
Um,
on my wish list. So if it's on sale, I'll grab it.
Great. Perfect. Yeah, it seems like I think you would like it. I think you would.
Sure.
and it's short. I love games that you can just beat in a day. You can literally sit down and finish it in one sitting if you want to.
Yep.
But it feels substantive in a way where you don't feel like it's lacking. So
Yeah.
that's good. Noah, you're in a trance. You're in a trance. You're in Yunyun syndrome, rhythm psychosis. It's your master now. Tell me about it.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Union's pretty fun. It's it it
Is it
has
Union? Is
yeah
it Union? Am I saying
Union
Yunyun?
yeah Union syndrome rhythm psychosis. There you go. So
Yunyun.
it's
I love Yunyun.
I've put about 2 hours in this thing.
Okay.
Which is pretty long for a rhythm game, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I've played about half the music that's in the base game, I think, and I've also got all the DLC, so I've played some of that music out of it.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. It's just a very, very basic 4-key rhythm game with some basic storyline going on in the background. The music genre of it is all denpa music, which if you don't know what denpa music is, it's basically how to describe denpa music. It's basically really idiotic music. I guess that's the best way to put it. So it's a lot of like yelling and screaming of and dumb rhythm lines. Like that's basically what denpa music is. And a lot of times it's cutesy, but not necessarily, because there can also be men doing denpa music, so it's not necessarily women, but most of the time it is. Yeah, it's a fun rhythm game, basically. I like rhythm games. This is the same publisher for what is it, what is that thing called now? It's just escaping me. The Needy Streamer Overload. There we go. The same publisher as Needy Streamer Overload. They also published that Record of Lotus board game, apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They've published some things that I've played, basically. They published Maurice of Top Mountain as well. I talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
But
yeah, it's Alliance Arts. It's the publisher, but
Alliance. Okay.
But yeah, it's been fun. The only thing is with this thing specifically is there's been a lot of controversy with the English translation in particular, because the translator for it took some, we'll say, localization liberties and decided to localize things in a way that they saw fit that were outside of the original creator's intent. And so there's been a lot of controversy with the creator going in, and they're now having to basically recreate that English localization from scratch. I think they're still working with the localization team, Dragon Baby, but they're having to go over their work basically and correct some things that weren't quite one-to-one with the other language translations of this game. So
Gotcha. So liberties, that's interesting.
yeah, it's been a pretty big controversy online. So
so when you say liberties, I guess what do you mean? Like,
okay, so just a quick example of this. They take
please.
the word they take the word. I wanna be accurate on this. So let me pull up the patch notes here. So they take the note yamero. They take the word yamero. Yamero is typically stop, right? Stop.
Okay.
That's what that means. They take that word and they translate it as end fascism.
Oh, whoa, weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of these things that are so they have this Fate Stay Night reference. I don't exactly know the Japanese for this Fate Stay Night reference, but it's kind of talking about like command spells, like their command spells ain't got nothing on me is kind of what the new translation for it is. The old translation was I will never be victimized under fascism again.
That's a weird change.
Yeah.
That's a really weird change.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
So
Okay.
it goes into like that whole like there's always like that politics and gaming whatever doodad buzz whatever stuff, and
Right.
so
Mhm.
it really just like this isn't like the right platform for those. Like I agree with like end fascism, right? That's I'm not saying like that's a bad thing to say, but
No.
that's not something that the original creator wanted to convey in this piece of art. And so
Yeah.
like why are you putting that in this game? Like
Yeah.
you're
So you're saying the localization is taking liberties with the messaging, right? Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
that is what I'm saying. Yep.
Wild.
Yep.
That's actually wild.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really weird.
That's just not the right platform for that. Simply not. So
No, I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, that's a
no.
really weird one.
But so yeah, there's been a lot of
Interesting.
controversy and a lot of bad things have been said about the people translating this, and about people who have these sort of political viewpoints have been said online.
Yeah.
Um, and I just don't think that's the right way to go about that. I mean, sure, they screwed up, right? That's a screw up. We
Right.
don't know who exactly screwed up on Dragon Baby, right? Doesn't matter.
Hmm.
The point is that this is getting fixed, and I think that this is a lesson that people will hopefully learn, rather than like
Hmm.
something that you need to like go out and hate them, berate them, whatever. I just don't believe in that.
Right.
So,
No,
um,
no, no. I think that's just bad taste,
yep,
honestly, if people
yep.
try to do that.
Yep. But, it's good to point these things out too, though. I think that, these things are
Yeah, I
lessons
agree.
learned. Yep.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so yeah, what was the you said Needy Streamer Overload was the other one?
yeah, that was also
That's
Alliance
the
Arts published that one.
okay.
Yep. Yep.
They didn't. It's not the same developer though, right?
I
Not the
don't.
same developer.
I, it's a very similar art style, so I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know.
Okay, okay. I'm
Because
just
the
curious.
the actual like developer of this one is Who You. Um, but that just links back to Alliance Arts on Steam, so I really don't know.
Hmm.
As far as I know, this is like the first like time that this director has actually like directed a game of this like
Okay,
level, I guess. Because the
gotcha.
director is Huyu Fuyuki Hayashi, so that's the director of this game. So
Of that game. Okay, interesting,
yeah,
interesting, interesting. Okay, gotcha. So that's what did you say? Not Yunyun. It's Union.
Yunyun Syndrome Rhythm Psychosis. Yep, fun rhythm
Okay.
game. Highly recommend it. Just go ahead and play it. Like, I mean, I honestly haven't. I honestly in gameplay I didn't notice any of the like weird translations. If I'm being completely honest, like it's not really what
Yeah.
you're playing that thing for. Like the story's there. Like it's fine. It's passing. Like I don't think people need to be up in arms over the story of a rhythm game being translated wrong. I really don't.
Right.
You're
Right.
there for the rhythm game. If you're not there for the rhythm game, like what are you doing with your time? Honestly, like
Yeah.
come on. So
Yeah.
I like the selection of music in it. It's fun. It's got a lot of good Beat Mario tracks, especially. I love Beat Mario. He's done a lot of like Toho remixes. So fun stuff.
You like your Toho. You like your Toho. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
lots of Toho music in
Um.
this thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of my games before I kind of get into the couple other big games I've been getting into this week, mostly just a lot of anecdotes for me, just in this like middle portion. Um, one is like, okay, I'm not gonna get into that much. It's Madden. We're gonna talk a little bit about Madden. No one wants to hear about Madden, but I'm gonna tell you about it. I've been playing a little bit too much of it. My brother, he broke his leg. He was kind of a freak accident. It was a weird one. So he's laid up, and he's asked me to play with him. So I've been hanging out with him every once in a while and playing some Madden. I got back into it. It's not really even about the game. It's just interesting that it's on Switch too. That's the first time a Madden game has been on a Nintendo Switch system, and it's been
oh
years since they've. I think it was the Wii, the last time they put a Madden
oh
on
wow.
Nintendo. Yeah, so it's been a long time. On a main like Nintendo console, they might have had like a DS game or something, but nothing I know. Um, it's just really interesting to see how that goes. And for the most part, that Switch 2 version, like I would have never bought it for full price, but like it's kind of crazy to see that game on a Switch 2. Like it runs at 30 for sure and kind of dips a little bit, but I'm like, if the Switch 2 can just play a bunch of modern games at just like a lower frame rate, that's just kind of awesome to just take around with, you know?
Yeah.
And I occasionally dabble in Madden. I like the NFL. That's my favorite sport. It's the only sport I really pay attention to. Everything else has kind of gone by the wayside. I only watch NFL because I I like NFL. I like football. I like some college, but Madden was my game growing up because I had nothing else to play pretty much besides like Lego games. You know what I mean? I mean, you grew up with me. You saw a lot of that. So, um, a lot of Lego games, a lot of Madden.
Yep.
That was my life growing up. Um, but yeah, it's just interesting to see to walk around with it. Like there's a weird novelty to it that it's weird that it's not tethered to my TV. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm having an interesting way to square it, I
Yeah.
guess. And I don't know. I've been enjoying it. They like really RPG up the Madden stuff, like in terms of hey, I want to take a team and get a bunch of players and stuff. Like there's a lot of like RPG systems in there that it's kind of interesting. I'm like, okay, there's some stuff they add year to year that if you miss just a few of them, because it's an annual franchise, you go like, oh wow, they've actually added a lot of stuff here, a lot of management stuff that I was into. Um, I think the best game for that, I promise I'm almost done. The best game for that is Madden '08, because like you can set like hot dog prices and stuff for like the stadiums and all that. I think that's really fun. I love the nitty gritties about that. If you play like an athlete trying to make big in the superstar mode Madden '08, you can uh, remember your lines for like movies and stuff, and you'll get like more fans and all that. I just like the gamification of like, oh, I'm building a life as a football player. That's fun. There's like interesting RPG elements in those games that I think is worth a mention. But yeah,
Yeah,
just a little check in. I've
I've played
been playing.
the career mode before for a Madden game on
Yeah,
GameCube. Similar to that, you had like your RPG, like you're playing out the role of like this uh football picker guy, and you would make
yeah,
your team. So I
yeah.
played that mode
hmm
before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it is engaging from time to time. I don't play a lot of them. I don't understand why anyone would buy them yearly, but that's just not my scene.
you
Um, I I buy them. I buy them occasionally and always on sale, always. So
yeah, you did give me an idea though, because like sort of like childhood wish fulfillment of like wanting to see a game portable. That's me with like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2,
yeah,
and I've never played those games portable, so I kind of need to just dust off my Steam Deck and just play those things portable.
there you
So
go.
that's a good way
Yeah,
to
why
replay
not?
those things. Just like
Those games are
you know,
on Steam. Yeah.
they're on Steam Deck. I'm sure they'd work just
hmm
fine on there. So I just need to play those things
Yeah.
again. I need to play those
Yeah.
things
I
portably
agree.
because I always wanted like a 3DS port, and then that never happened. So I was like, oh, maybe they'll do a Switch port. That didn't happen. I'm like, well, those things are probably stuck in the PS3 and X360 area. Like that's just where those things
Yeah.
are right now. Luckily, they're on
Right.
PC, so they're not hard to like modernize a little bit, but with some mods. But
Bring back Sonic the Fighters. I need to fight as Polar Bear, Noah.
Sonic the
Polar Bear.
Fighters, yeah, Sonic the Fighters is pretty good. I like Sonic the Fighters. Right. That game actually has a pretty decent community, like people actively playing and pushing that game. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's been a
Interesting.
lot of I've followed like a lot of like the competitive developments of that game. So I find it pretty fascinating actually that game is played competitively because it's basically just like a weird Virtua Fighter spin-off. Like that's what
Yeah,
that thing
it's
is.
from that. Yeah, it's from
Yeah,
that team, which is
yeah,
really
it's
funny.
made on that
Yeah.
hardware. So of like those
hmm
Virtua
hmm
Fighter arcades. So um,
It's a fascinating thing. It really
yeah,
is.
yeah, and they've
Yeah.
even gotten like I don't remember if it was the fans or if it was like the X360 PS3 version of that game because that game also got put on X360 and PS3, but at some point they restored a content character that's like
Hmm.
another like of those like sort of fighters exclusive characters, Honey the cat. So
Oh, interesting.
yep,
Hmm.
and she's
That's cool.
basically like they took like Amy's model and just edited it a little bit to make Honey the
Ah,
cat. So,
that's interesting. Yeah.
yep,
How about that? Yeah, there's something very novel about something that was a console experience for you growing up being portable. You're like, whoa,
yeah,
this is kind of crazy.
yep, yep.
I'm trying to another good
That's how it was
example of
with
this is
Sunshine for me. Sunshine on Switch, like
yeah,
mind
sure,
blowing. Yep, I
100%.
love that.
Yeah, 64 as well. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe I need to play Sunshine again. Switch. I don't
sure. Why not?
know.
I played that 3D All Stars version. It was a fine-ish
I
version
don't
to
know
play.
if I can go back to Sunshine after playing Eclipse. Like genuinely, Eclipse is just such a better experience of Sunshine.
Well, we'll get into some Eclipse stuff later in our topic for sure because Noah's got some Eclipse to talk about. I think,
Yeah.
which is fun. But yeah, another little update. I beat Donkey Kong Country Returns since last podcast. That game is really underrated. I really like that game a lot. It might not be for you necessarily, Noah, but I love Donkey Kong as a character. He's my favorite Nintendo character.
He's
I
cool.
think they do justice by him. Yeah, he's really cool, and that game is really good. I I understand why people like see like, oh, it comes out and it's like, oh, this is an 8. And people are like, yeah, that game's fine. But like playing it, I'm like, no, for real, this game's really good. Like, I don't understand why people aren't going like, that's one of the better platformers Nintendo's made. Like,
Yeah.
and like as a company. I think that game is really awesome. And maybe there's a generic Donkey Kong feel that everyone just isn't into as much. And maybe they like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze a little bit more because it varies that up. I understand why people would do that, but like Donkey Kong Country Returns is just so good. I really, really liked it. It was my first time I beat it this year, and this is the third time they ported it. I mean, it was the Wii game, it was a 3DS game, and now it was a Switch game that came out either last year or the year before. So there's been a million ways to get it right. Um, that's my first time I got through it, and I got most of the stuff, like most of the Kong letters and
Yeah.
all the secret puzzle pieces. Like it's a really engaging game. Like I supremely recommend that thing. It's not like a high recommend, but like I really do recommend that game. And so after beating that, I started DK Country Tropical Freeze. Um, and so, okay, the thing about the Switch version of Returns, real quick, is that they added Dixie Kong back into that. It used to be just Diddy. It used to be just Diddy for that original game and for that 3DS game. And they added some 3DS levels that make it into the Switch version, which is cool. But with that, remaster again, they add Dixie and her moveset from Tropical Freeze because she's in there.
Mhm.
And so like they even share animations and stuff that
Hmm.
there's like a weird like animation they have that is in Tropical Freeze that's in Returns, but only in when Dixie shows up. So they basically just ripped the animations and stuck it in that game, and they didn't do anything else.
Hmm.
They basically like her implementation is here. We basically were lazy about it. And we just threw her in the game, and I'm like, okay, cool. And it made that game a lot more fun to play. I think Returns because that's a tough game. That's a really tough game. But yeah, I'm playing a little bit here and there of Tropical Freeze. You get Cranky Kong in there. He has a basically like a double jump. Like
Yep.
he's got like a pogo cane, like a very DuckTales thing.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Shovel
Because
Knight.
like Scrooge McDuck. Yep.
Yep, very Scrooge McDuck, which is fun. And they basically allow you to jump back and forth between monkey assists, and it's more dynamic for that. The levels are better, the music's better. It seems like it's going to be even better than that. So like I'm really excited to really go through that and play it. The boss fights in Returns were kind of annoying sometimes. They weren't hard, but they were just annoying. Um, but this one seems like just better. It just seems like a sequel in the ways where like we made a better video game with the same basic concept and different visual flair and music and maybe some interesting gameplay stuff like adding a Cranky Kong. So if it improves on the original, like I think I'm going to be wanting a third one. Like if they make another one in this style, that would be really awesome. I don't know if Retro would do it because hopefully they would just get on the Metroid Prime 5 since they have all these assets, right? Maybe they should just do that. But it'd be cool to see another one, if not from them, from somebody else. So, yeah, just a little bit of Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. I really like that series. I like that series in general. I've played 1 and 2. I haven't played 3 and or the land games, but yeah, I'm making my way through the series. So, yeah. Speaking of Tude, Noah's been in the mood for some Tude. You've been playing some BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle.
Yep. Just played a few
Um,
matches of it.
Never touched this game. I don't know anything about it. Tell me about it.
It's fun. It's a mashup fighter between BlazBlue, Under Night in Birth, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and
Okay.
then they have characters from the Ruby franchise as well in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Ruby. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. I don't know anything about Ruby either, honestly.
Yep.
I guess what makes it different is it Arxis, this one? I'm pretty sure it's Arxis,
Yes,
right?
it's Arxis. Yep, Arxis did
It is
BlazBlue.
Arxis.
Arxis made this game. Yep, this game is primarily a BlazBlue game with these other
Yeah.
fighters in here to be like a like a SNK versus Capcom
Yeah,
sort of
right.
setting. Yep.
Right.
Um,
Makes sense.
yep.
Okay.
So it's pretty fun. It's a tag fighter, so you've played a tag fighter. Everyone's played a tag fighter. If you haven't played a tag
Yeah.
fighter, go ahead and
Mhm.
go play Capcom versus SNK, and you'll have played
Absolutely. He's got
play
the
a
right
tag
idea.
fighter. Yep,
Absolutely. That game's incredible.
that's
I
the
love
one to
that game
play.
so much.
Yep.
Yep. I
Um,
agree there.
but yeah, it's it's fun. You got all these different sprites, and some of them feel like mismatched, kind of like a Capcom versus SNK, and
Yeah.
you're just fighting with these guys, and they all have very similar sort of move sets, so that you can just kind of auto combo your way through, and just
Mhm.
mash buttons. It's a kind of a mash button sort of fighter, so
Yeah. Yeah.
not a lot of
Okay.
thought goes into it.
Yeah, so it's one of these just like mashup uh fighting games pretty
Yep.
much, like a very Capcom versus SNK.
Yeah,
Interesting.
less technical than a Capcom versus SNK though. It's more like a
Yeah,
streamlined like
okay.
anime fighter sort of thing.
Oh, it is?
With
Okay.
auto
Interesting.
comboing. Yep.
With auto combos. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Capcom versus SNK is a great game. I
Yep.
love that game very
Game's
much.
awesome.
Have you ever played Tatsunoko versus Capcom?
I
Have you
have.
ever played that
I
one?
have. Yep.
Okay. Is that any
Not
good?
very
I've never played that
much,
one.
but
Okay.
I never played it with another person, so I really can't judge it very well. I've just played against CPUs on it. I just wanted to see what it was, check it out. And I think there were some characters in there that I liked. Some weird, obscure, Capcom characters were in there that I was like, oh, that seems interesting. So I played it, and then
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really know.
Mhm.
I keep seeing it at our local game store here. I keep seeing it. They have the the big box for Capcom versus Tatsunoko with the fighting pad. I'm like, one of these days, I'm just gonna grab that thing.
Oh man, that'd be so wild for you to get that, and you don't really care about that game. You're just getting it to get it. That'd be so sick.
Yeah.
That'd be based. That'd be based. I love that. Um,
uh,
yeah, I've been wanting to check that one out at some point. But
yep.
yeah.
It's interesting enough.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say it's interesting enough. Yeah, that's
Okay.
about all I've got on the BlazBlue cross tag battle thing though.
Okay. Awesome. Couple other little check-ins here. I I've looked at Mario Odyssey this week. I've looked at it. My daughter wanted to play it. You know what that means? I'm
Yep.
gonna smash a button and run around and say, "Daddy, I can't do it. You do it." And then she gets mad that I'm holding the controller for too long, and she says, "Give me it back." And yeah, we looked at that game. We saw Mario jump a couple times. That was fun. She threw a cap on a frog,
Yep.
as you do, and she was very into that. She went, Dad, the frog, the frog. I'm like, yeah, Mario's the frog now. She went, what? Like she's getting the existential Mario thing that you want.
Yep.
She can't get her head around it. She's like, where's Mario? I'm
Where's
like, that's
Mario
Mario.
at?
She's like,
Yeah,
huh?
that's Mario. No, that's not. That's the frog. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, he's in there. And
Yeah.
she's like, in there?
There it is. There's that
And
beautiful,
so,
beautiful developmental psychology. So little context. I did psychology degree in college. I had a psychology degree, and I loved developmental psychology. I thought that was a really interesting class. So I still
yeah, yeah.
have a lot of enjoyment in hearing about those anecdotes of child development. I'm like, yes, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun to see how she reckons with weird situations like that
Yep,
because they are low stakes and they are interesting, you
yep,
know. Uh,
it's fun.
so yeah, so we looked at Mario Odyssey this week. We played about 5 minutes of it, and she got more out of Mario 64. I'll say, we'll put it that way. A little bit more out of that one. Um, I didn't play much of that. Same for Epic Mickey Rebrushed. So she's just a big my kid is a big Disney person because of my wife, and it's all Mickey all the time and whatever she wants Disney characters we try to give her because we're weak-willed, I guess. And Epic Mickey Rebrushed, I was just scrolling through some panels in my PlayStation, and she's like, Mickey, Mickey. I was like, what are you talking about, Mickey? And I see him, and he's got a paintbrush, and I'm like, oh, this
Oh, this
game. Okay.
game.
Yeah.
People kind of like that thing, don't they?
They do on the Wii. I don't know if it's any good on a console controller
Okay.
because there's no waggle, which is
Uh-huh.
kind of what the whole thing was about that game. Um, Fun fact, that game was made by Warren Spector, the guy who helped make Deus Ex, which is funny. Um, anyway, that's neither here nor there. This Epic Mickey Rebrushed has a very, very, very well rendered cutscene at the very beginning. I'm like, why is this game so high? Like it's so high definition, this cutscene. Like you see the pores of Mickey's ears. Like what is going? Like it is really high quality cutscene stuff. I'm like, what? Like this is like the Disney might apply to a kind of mediocre Wii game. Like it's really weird.
Yeah.
And they like remastered it, but they didn't remaster the second one, which people prefer, and
Huh.
it's a very odd situation. And it has Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. You know
It
who Oswald the
does.
Lucky Rabbit
I
is?
do.
Okay.
Yeah. Prototype for Mickey. Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, okay, getting back to football a little bit. The announcer, Al Michaels, was traded for the rights for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit from NBC to ABC as in a swap, in like a freaking swap meet that the two
Wow.
companies had. And so Disney got Oswald back and gave NBC Al Michaels for their Sunday Night Football stuff, which is one of the most wild stories you can think of. Like the rights to use him as an announcer. It's one of the most wild like IP swaps I can think of. So every time I think of Oswald, I think of Al
Saying
Michaels
you want to
immediately.
know something really interesting? Sonic the Hedgehog's prototype design was also a rabbit.
Really? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I could see that with like the foot tapping. I could definitely see that. That seems like a rabbit thing to do.
Yep.
Um, but anyway, Epic Mickey Rebrushed has a very, very lavish cutscene at the beginning. And then you got to play the game. You're like, God, I got to play this game. The paintbrushing stuff's not great, at least on controller. It feels like it should have stayed on the Wii, but whatever. What do I know? People love Disney stuff, so I'm sure somebody likes that game. I'm probably gonna have to play more of it because she sees it. She's like, turn it on, loser. Like, just play it. I'm like, okay, I'll play it. I'm just completely weak completely weak when it comes to her. So I just do what she says. Um, and yeah, we watched that cutscene over and over. Like we watched it literally 3 times. And I was like, okay, we're gonna turn it off now. And she's like, no, again, again. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like a 5 minute cutscene. But yeah, anyway, that is I didn't play that either, but we looked at that. She's getting video game curious is kind of my point. Um, and I'm not pushing it on her. I'm letting her come to me with it, you know. And she's only 3. I try to limit that exposure to it because it's developmental stuff. You got to be careful with it. Try not to give her too much screen time. It's kind of uncharted territory right now because screens are a relatively new thing for like their prevalence in our day and era, you know. So
Yeah. There's not a lot of good research on that stuff for sure. You gotta be careful.
not yet, and I tried to be very careful about it just
Yeah.
for reasons.
Makes
So
sense.
anyway, as for real video games I've been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, Noah, and the Noah Apology Tour, and I for some reason am playing all 3 main routes concurrently. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it.
So,
So
I don't want to tell you not to do that, but also I want to make sure you like actually complete like one of those routes at least. Like,
yeah, yeah.
do you feel like you're actually gonna complete one of those routes, or are you just kind of like,
Yes, I do. Yes, I
okay,
do. That is one of my goals for this year. Like I keep my constant refrain. I want to beat this. I want to beat Persona 5, Final Fantasy 10 this year.
yeah?
Those are my 3
I
big
don't think
boys.
you
If I can
have
do
to
that, I'll be
necessarily
happy.
beat all those routes. Like, I would like you to beat all those routes because I think they're all worth playing through.
Yeah,
Especially the Golden Deer and the Blue Lions are especially worth playing through. I think the Black Eagles are okay. I think that's an interesting enough route. I think it's the weakest route besides Silver Snow, which is entirely worth skipping. I would say
yeah,
Silver Snow is basically a waste of time.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. I guess for me, I couldn't decide between House Leader and Party Comp. Does that make sense? Like, I I like the Blue Lions cast, but I'm kind of like whatever on Dimitri. but I
He's
like
a growth character.
um
Dimitri is 1,000% a growth character.
okay.
Yep.
But I also like the Golden Deer guy, whatever his name. I forget what his name is.
Claude.
I like him, Claude. Yeah, I like him maybe the most, but
Yeah.
his class not into. I don't like his class at all. I think they all look like dumbasses. I just
So
can't.
they're growth characters. Like the entire cat class, pretty much, I would say they get better as the game progresses. Because I didn't like them at first either. Just
Okay.
so I was right there with you, right? They have to grow on you. You have to just give them a chance to grow on you.
Okay.
Also, though, you can recruit students from the other classes.
You can. I did know that. That's
Yes.
kind of why I wasn't totally married to it.
Yep.
I think I'm going to start leaning Claude. I really
Okay.
do. I
Yeah,
don't
just
like.
go ahead and start poaching those students from. If you start as a female, you
Okay.
can just grab Sylvain right away because he's a like misogynist, so he wants to be in the class with the. Yep,
Yeah.
he wants to be in the class with the
Yeah.
lady professor, and so you just go up to him right away, and he'll say, "Yes, ma'am, I am on your side. I am now in your class." And
Okay. Easy.
yeah, easy. He's an easy recruit. And then everyone else, you'll need to do some sort of stats to get them on your class, but it's not
Right.
egregious, really. Like the school
too
stuff
bad.
in that
Okay.
thing is not that egregious, especially on like normal difficulties. So
It's like Persona Light, pretty much.
Persona
that's
Light,
kind of how
yep,
it
yep.
is. Very
It-
Persona Light.
yeah, it's not nearly as like grindy and to the bones as a Persona. Like it's just not like
No,
that.
absolutely not. No, but it does have that same philosophy of like, hey, go around the school,
Yep.
go talk to your guys.
And it
Like,
does get repetitive.
to-
It gets
yeah.
very repetitive after like a long time of playing that game. It will get repetitive.
right,
Um,
for sure.
it's kind of a weak
Um,
aspect of that game in like return play sessions. Like the novelty of it's interesting. I don't want to see it again with Fortune's Weave. Please don't do that again.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I'm basically trying to hop around to see who I am going to stick with, and I think I'm just going to do what I said initially and just stick with Golden Deer because I think Claude is so cool.
Yeah,
I
just
think he's
poach
really cool.
students that you think look neat.
Um,
Poach them
yeah,
from
that's the way
Blue
to do it,
Lions.
yeah.
Poach them from
Yeah.
Black Eagles.
I will take that advice and I will do that.
Get
That-
like
that's how I-
Scythia. She's cool. She's on Black Eagles. Just
Yeah,
push
Lexithia.
her.
That's
Yep.
right. Yeah, Lexithia.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, people like Dorothy too, right?
People like
You
Dorothy. Yep. People really like Dorothy.
Yeah.
Yep. People
I
like.
saw like most utilized party member was Dorothy. That's what I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah, people are really big into Dorothy. Very big into Dorothy.
Okay, interesting.
I
but,
think it's because
I'm
the hat.
really-
I think it's because the hat.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's
No,
got
no.
this, like-
That's a huge thing with Fire Emblem characters. The ones with hats are always the most popular, right? Because they're all anime characters, so they all have like the same face, same features, right?
True,
What
yeah.
differentiates them? The hat. It's
The
always the
hat.
hat. Fire Emblem Sacred
Yeah.
Stones has this too, because everyone loves Joshua because he has this cool like pirate type hat, and so he's got like this tricorn thing going on, and so everyone
Yeah.
loves Joshua, even though he's like the worst class in the game. He's a sword user. He's locked swords to Myrmidian, and he people love him, including me. I love Joshua, but
Nice.
it's always the hat, So it's a funny thing with Fire Emblem, yep, because they're just all like same face, anime characters. So
Yeah.
yep.
My goal is to finish her out at the very least. The reason I was doing all three concurrently was to suss out who I liked most and to have those save files ready so I'm not doing the beginning again if I were to take another route. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just to have that option because I don't want to play that beginning again. I was getting all the crap out of the way to just like, hey, I'm getting to a point where I can play the game in every route if I wanted to.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So really great game. I'm really, really digging it a lot. I'm about 6 hours into that. On the main route, on the Golden Deer route, I'm 6 hours in. And it's a great game. It's a very good game. What can I say? I'm excited to play Fortune's Weave with you. So that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, Fortune's Weave. Oh my gosh. That'll probably unless that thing like absolutely just fails, it'll probably be like a game I'm playing for a very long time. Like I'll probably sink a lot of hours into that thing.
Are you excited to see that in like 2 or 3 weeks? Because that's probably what's gonna happen.
I hope so.
Like really soon.
I need to see it. I need to see it.
They said that game is pretty much coming out this summer, so like they gotta show something like really soon on it.
Yeah.
I bet you that's like an August or like early September sort of thing. If I had to guess, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, the Nintendo Direct stuff is going to be so fascinating. Like that is the stuff I'm most excited for the rest of the year. Like GTA notwithstanding, as like kind of a educational piece, I want to see what that game is as a very expensive video game. Nintendo Slate is by far the most interesting. So basically, like Nintendo Slate's interesting to me. GTA is interesting as an artifact, and Fable's interesting to me as like, hey, Xbox gave this team millions of dollars and a frick load of time to make a big ass RPG. What does that thing look like?
Yeah.
Those are the games I'm most interested in for the back half of the year. So
People like
um,
Fable.
they do, but like this team has never made a Fable game. Like, what does that even look? What is even Fable? Like, what is Fable to people? Do people care? It feels like they're taking an IP very like Prey. You know what I mean? Like what Arcane did with Prey, where like they had Prey and they were gonna make Prey 2, but then they just like decided to just make another game called Prey that has nothing to do with that IP. Like, are they gonna do this with Fable just because they have like the name Fable? You know what I mean? Um, like I don't know. It's gonna be weird. Like, are they gonna just use the name and make a different game with like some medieval stuff in it, or are they gonna make it like a Fable 4? Like, what is that gonna look like? Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of interesting stuff. Um, yeah, besides me playing Mario Odyssey, no, you've been on an Odyssey all your own of the Etrian kind. Yak about Etrian Odyssey, the first one.
Honestly, I didn't get that far in it because I kept
That's
dying.
fine. Just say what you want. Just say what you
I
want.
I got to like the second floor of the main
Yeah.
like that first dungeon, and I just kept dying on the first dungeon floor, and then kept dying on the second dungeon floor. Maybe I'm not cut out for that game. I don't know. That game is like extremely freeform, and like the skills and like the leveling up, like
Yeah.
they just give you so much that you can do right off the bat, and they also like make it to where like it's very very like the enemies are out to kill you always. Like
Right.
there's no rest for the weary in that thing.
Hmm.
Like maybe if you know how to game that thing, like if you have like a guide or something, like maybe that's the way to play that. I'm really not sure, but
Hmm.
like for now, I'm just like this thing is just too intense for me to just like casually like get into because I just
Yeah.
did not understand what I was doing.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's So what is your history with like the first person hallway Atlas games? Like, what is that like? Have you played any of these
I
before?
played the original Persona with the weird
Right. Right.
localization. That's about it.
Mhm. That's the one I have the most
Yeah.
time in, for sure. So I relate there. Um, yeah, Etrian Odyssey is so weird. Like it is very like it doesn't hold your hand at all. They're just like,
No.
here is a world, here's a dungeon. Write the map as you go, figure it out. If you die, good luck. Like hopefully you brought stuff to not help to
It
not make you die.
also
Maybe that.
doesn't like it just doesn't play as well on like PC compared to like a DS.
Sure.
Like that thing is like
I
tailor
play
made for the
Yeah,
DS.
right. I played it on Switch, and maybe it's a little easier to just grok it that way. But I can see why you'd say that on the
Hmm.
PC. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hmm. Yeah. So Etrian Odyssey. Yeah, I've played that first one. I got the 1, 2, and 3 HD collection on Switch for like $20 a couple
Hmm.
years ago. So I've been meaning to kind of check those out. Honestly, ever since Metaphor, I'm like, what is this Etrian Odyssey? I hear about this all over the place, right?
Yeah, I
What
hear
is this?
about it too. Yeah.
Um, mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean the most fun I had with it was trying to make all my characters be Vocaloids. So I have all my characters
Vocaloids,
as
yeah.
Vocaloids. Yep.
Hmm.
And
Right, for
I
sure.
didn't even I don't even have Miku on my team. So
No Miku. No
yeah,
Miku, no problem. I think
yeah,
it's all right.
yeah.
Um, I'm gonna save Saros for the bottom here. I want to hear more about Action Bass because I keep seeing it in your screen. I don't know anything about it. Tell me about Action Bass.
Action Bass. Yeah, no, it's so I went on a little PS1 collecting shopping trip today.
Shopping spree.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
game world. Yeah.
yeah. I got so I got Action Bass, and
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't not. I was like, wait a second, this is Action
Mm-hmm.
Bass. What are we doing here?
Action
Looks
Bass.
awesome.
What are we doing?
Um, and then I got Croc Legend of Gobos. People talk about that thing. That thing seems immensely
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I've heard
Yeah.
like the most mixed things in the world on that thing, so I really need to just check that thing
Argonaut,
out.
dude. It's Argonaut. The guys that made Buck Bumble. They made that game.
They
So
did. They make
they
games
did.
supposedly, and I think some people like that thing. I think some people despise that thing. It may be the most
Yeah.
divisive game I've ever like heard discourse on in my life. So I gotta check
Really?
that thing
That's
out.
surprising to me. I watched I don't know if you've ever seen Oni plays, but they played Croc and they straight up quit it because they're just like this game is bullshit.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Some people really hate it, and some people really like it. So, um,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah. And then I finally got White Whale game Rayman 2, The Great Escape. I finally got that thing.
Oh, did you?
Yep,
Good for
yep,
you. You've been talking about that thing for a while.
yep.
Yeah,
I finally
yeah,
own it now, so I just need to play through that thing.
yeah.
So now I've got Rayman 1 and 2 on PS1, so I'm pretty happy about that.
There you go.
Then I got
There
Rayman
you
3
go.
on GameCube, so
Hmm. Is the consensus on that re-release to not play that version of Rayman, or does it not matter?
I
Like
have
the original?
no idea.
We just kind of put that thing out, and
Because
I didn't hear a thing about it. So
the only thing I heard about it was that the soundtrack's not the original soundtrack, and there's no way to use
yeah.
the original soundtrack. That's what I heard. That's the discourse I heard on that re-release.
Hmm. That game does look really nice, though. That's a nice looking game.
I mean, yeah, I think that any way you play that game, it's just gonna look really nice because that first game just is a really nice looking game.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um,
Just that like hand drawn pixel art stuff is
yeah,
just
it looks
really
really good.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I love that original
Okay,
game. It's one of my
so
favorite
Action
platformers.
Bass. No, for the video portion of the audience, Action Bass is on his CRT. Look at his
It is,
CRT.
yeah, yeah.
Bass, you'll find that.
You'll see
Um,
him. You'll see the Action Bass. Um,
hmm hmm
the last game.
How different is it from like oh, what did they call it? There's like that Wrangler game, like the one. It's not Cabela's, but it's
Oh, like bass
like a bass
fishing?
fishing.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
how
a.
different
I
is it
think it
from
is like a
Spring?
Cabela's bass fishing. I haven't played that one.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, but this game's pretty fun. It's real simple. You just cast the line. You can kind of jiggle the lure a bit. But you mainly just
Yeah.
you need to cast where the bass are, and then if you do enough action with the lure, they'll get attracted to it, and then once you get the fish on there, you're kind of wanting to reel it in. While just managing a
Mhm.
tension gauge like you usually do with these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the goal is just to catch enough bass of the correct weight class to get over like a certain threshold of total weight for all your bass. And once you do
hmm
that, you move on to the next course basically. It is just
Gotcha.
bass. It's a bass
Gotcha.
fishing game. All you're gonna catch are bass. So
hmm It's like a bass fishing. Okay.
yep, yep.
Only bass all the time.
Action bass.
Just bass.
Yeah, this is and it's published by a little indie publishing company, Take Two Interactive. So
Oh, Take Two. I've heard of those guys. They make them GTA games that people
yeah, yeah,
are into. Yeah.
yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like for the longest time, 2K and Take Two, I didn't think were the same thing. They are the same thing.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
yep,
Which it makes sense if you think about it, but like I didn't think about it. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, Take Two Interactive. Oh my, oh, of course, 2K. Right, makes sense.
But
For
yeah,
sure.
and the last thing I grabbed on my shopping spree was uh Riven sequel to Mist.
Have you played Miss the
No,
original? Okay,
I've
gotcha.
tried to look for Mist. I didn't see it there, so I'm like, well, I'm just gonna get this thing. Maybe I'll play it, and maybe I'll just wait to play Mist. I'm not sure, but at least I have this thing because I was just looking at the box art. I'm like, man, this thing looks immensely interesting. I think I would like this thing.
Uh, Giant Bomb has been playing through all of the Miss games, 1 through 4. If you are interested in watching Mike Minotti play those things, check that
I
out. That's
kind
cool.
of want
And
to
then
go in blind on those things, to be honest.
I think he's playing Riven 2 though too. So like if you
Yeah.
ever finish those games. You
Yeah,
could just chill
Riven
out.
is the sequel. Yep. So that's
Yep.
what it says in the
It's
box. At
literally
least.
called.
Yep.
It's on the tin. Yes,
Yep.
yes, it is. Yes, it
So
is. Riven, the sequel to Mist. Very funny. Very,
yep.
very funny. Okay, so Riven. So you're gonna try that next? Is that
I
kind of the goal,
I
or
might. I might also just try and get a copy of Mist Online for PS1
okay?
because I also need to get a PS1 mouse because I don't think I want to play that thing without a PS1 mouse. Um,
Hmm.
so I need to find a PS1 mouse online. So I can just kind of go through it with that. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think that might like be easier than trying to go on like a GOG and get a copy of
Yeah,
Mist and then try and like get it to be compatible with my PC and end up having to like install like Windows 3.1 on a DOS box or something like that, and go through all
right.
that. Like I have the hardware to just play it on console. I kind of just want to play it on console. Then I can play it on my CRT anyways, and that's really the correct way to play those things, I think. So,
Yeah, yep, right, right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
but
Yeah. Besides old video games, you've played not too old of a video game. You started playing Elden Ring again. What
yeah,
prompted you to do this?
I
Okay.
wanted a I had I watched an anime and I had that itis that I get sometimes where I need to create a character from an anime in a character creator. So I'm like, okay, what's a game that I can just have a character creator that just creates fantasy characters? Oh, Elden Ring. Okay, I'm creating this character in Elden Ring. So I created Alicia from Clevitis in Elden Ring, and now I'm playing through Elden Ring. So yeah.
Yeah. You fought all the hard bosses, I assume, all with the broken straight sword. You did the whole thing, right?
No, no, I'm just playing it casual.
No.
I have the
Okay.
long sword, and I was going through it, and I did go out and kill the tree sentinel as soon as I saw him. Took me a few
Yeah.
tries, but I got him, and then I was like, yeah, okay, cool, I still got it.
Yeah.
And then I was just running around and going through like the. I haven't even got to Margit yet. I just kind of just been side questing, running around, the first area. I think it's Limgrave, and then running around
Yeah.
Caelid a bit. Getting teleported to Caelid.
Mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
I eventually I made my way down to like the bottom area, like that bottom peninsula, and went through the castle sort of area down there with the that's a really cool set piece with like the Debbie humans and the humans kind of
Yeah.
fighting at that castle, like actively
Mhm.
fighting a battle. Like it's really cool. Um,
That's very
Elden
cool.
Ring
Yeah,
does some stuff like
it's
that
like a side
sometimes.
area unto itself,
Yeah,
like that whole area.
yep, it's
Yeah,
real neat.
for sure. I
But
agree.
um, I ended up making my way up to the captain there, and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna kill this guy. Like, I have no use for this guy. I might as well just kill this guy. So I
Yeah.
just killed him, and then he dropped a +8 Banished Knight Halberd. I'm like, well,
Oh,
that's better
wow.
than my +3 Great Sword or Longsword that I
Plus
have right
8?
now. Yeah,
Wow.
+8.
It's
Yeah,
high.
yeah,
Wow.
that's really early to have a +8. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
use this thing. Might as well. I was already going for a quality build anyways, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just use this Halberd. And yeah, it's awesome. It does damage, and
Mhm. Yeah. Turns out.
I haven't used a halberd since Dark Souls freaking 1. Like my first playthrough of Dark Souls freaking 1 was
Mm,
a halberd. And
mm.
so I'm
Wow.
like, you know what? I'm going to use this freaking halberd until I find something else that looks interesting. That's the beauty of a quality build. You just find something, you can probably use it as long as it's not magical. So,
Yeah.
um
Yeah, for sure. That game is just so magical. Like the setting, there's a certain atmosphere and quality that they reach in that game that I feel like they have in all their games for sure, but like
yeah.
I feel like it's so consistent for so much of it. Just because it's just a way bigger game.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's just so great. That Elden Ring
I've
is amazing. It's
I've
not top
always
3, 4 for me, I think, but it's
yeah.
it's top 5. So,
I don't know. I think for me, it's probably the weakest of those Soulsborne Ekiro Ring games. Like,
mhm,
genuinely, I think it's the bottom of the list for me. And I think that has to do with just how much repetition is in that game. They repeat bosses so much in that game. It gets
Yeah,
so
they do. Yeah.
repetitive. And there's just so much content that a lot of times I'll go through a dungeon thinking that I'm going to get something that I need, and then I end up not getting like anything. I'm like, man, that entire dungeon was a waste of my time. Like I was looking for a smithing stone too, so I'm like, okay, I went through this one cave and I was getting just smithing stone one. So let me go through this other cave. Maybe I'll get some smithing stone twos. No, I didn't get a single smithing stone two from that cave. It was all smithing stone ones again. I'm like, why would you have two caves in the same area that only give smithing stone ones? Like, what are we doing here? Like that's just there's no progression there. It just doesn't. It feels bad. I don't need to upgrade my longsword, right? Like that's not something I need. That's just something that I wanted to do, and I don't even think I could. I think I have like I over my playthrough so far, I've only collected like 6 smithing stone twos, and I just don't think that's enough.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
to upgrade it
Okay.
to where I need the smithing threes.
I basically like I agree with you about the repeated content. I think I think the new stuff in that game trumps all that and exceeds that repetitiveness. Like I think it's just a very well made game with a lot of stuff in it. And sure, there's repeated, tree sentinels or whatever. But like I feel like that's all just kind of like in the periphery to just pad out the game, right? The main stuff, the main thrust of that game is so consistently good. I mean, it's a classic, modern classic for a reason. I really feel that way.
That's fine. What I'm trying to say with that is that the main crux of like what I have issues with that thing is that you'll go off and do side content, and there's a very good chance that it just has like you really aren't getting any progression there because this like the runes you get for like a lot of those like dungeons, especially early on, are just negligible, and like a lot of things you'll pick up in those dungeons, they just don't feel like they're spread out enough for the variety of builds that they have. Like, obviously, I'm not going to content that I know is going to waste my time. Like, I'm not going into the freaking catacombs and where like the flowers stuff is for upgrading my summons, right? I'm not going to use the summons. I'm not going to engage with that. I'm not really interested. Maybe I'll get like the mimic tier and use him for the heck of it. Who knows? But usually I'm not using those things, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to waste my time by going through that catacombs content. That content's there, and it lengthens the game, but I'm not going to engage with it and waste my time. But content that I think isn't going to waste my time is also wasting my time. So that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it's not by no means a perfect game. I like it despite its flaws, but like I just think like for how big it is, for how sprawling it is, like they really knock it out of the park
Yeah.
for a lot of it.
Yeah, for
It's
an
like
open world
80%.
thing, you never
Yeah.
feel like there's nothing to do. Like,
Yes, it's like a 70 to 80% banger. It's kind
yep.
of how I feel. And then like the 20 to 30% is repeats, and that's unfortunate. And but there's just so much other stuff that can fill that void, I feel like, that I kind of don't care about it as
Yeah.
much. That's what I think.
I'm
And I think we've also both decided we're not playing that game on Switch too.
no.
So
Um
yeah.
I'm curious then you're a lot higher on this game than I am. I'm curious why you haven't got
Yeah.
through that DLC then.
I just don't like the leveling. I don't like the leveling structure of that thing. I don't
Hmm.
like
It's real bad, yeah.
the
The
I just think
Sakuda thing.
the yeah,
Yeah.
the Skadoo stuff, like it's another level of obfuscation to an already tough DLC
Yeah.
where I'm like, okay, you're already punishing me. Why do you feel like I need to build myself back up again when I have in-game stuff? Like I understand like DLC is supposed to be like you're at the peak of your powers, this and that. But then why don't you make me feel that way? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to level again. I just don't want to level again. And also you have to get certain levels to be able to beat these bosses with the Skadootree stuff. And I just don't like that mechanic. They don't do that
Yeah.
in any other stuff that I can think of. And I
No.
don't like that it's here and it's so required because it is required,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's not just that, like they basically make there's no runbacks at all for any of the bosses. Like the Snake
Yep.
America's right there.
Yep.
every time.
That's nice.
Which is nice. It is nice, but the trade-off is the bosses get so hard.
Mhm.
Like Mesmer is ridiculously hard.
I had
Like
never even
ridiculous.
made it to Mesmer, not because of like
I
difficulty
did. I
necessarily.
did.
I just
I'm
got
stuck
bored
on
with
Mesmer.
that open world. Yeah.
I so like it's kind of a small game unto itself, which is cool. Thematically, it looks amazing. Like
Hmm.
visually and like atmospherically, everything about the thing is really cool looking, sounding, feeling.
Yeah.
But like I don't like the enemy variety that much. I think the bosses are, if they're not completely smacking you around with the camera, they're like completely overwhelming you with their attack. Like Mesmer, straight up, when you enter his boss ring, he dive bombs you, and there's just like
Yeah.
nothing you can do,
Yeah.
and it's tough. Um, and he's got very, very, very aggressive attacks. And if you have just not built yourself up enough, he's like the first real skill check. He's like the Genichiro of
Yeah.
this DLC. Like
Yeah.
if you can't beat him, like you need to go search for other fragments, pretty
Yep.
much. And my issue with is it's just punitive, dude. Like they cut out the runbacks and made the boss fights harder. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just think it's really annoying and it pushes me away,
Yeah.
you know? It feels unfair. It feels unfair. That's the thing about Souls games. You usually feel like you're playing by their rules. Like sometimes there's camera issues. I will
I
grant it. That does happen.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like with those hippos, those golden hippos, the camera is so bad in
It's
that
so bad.
DLC.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
so bad. Like you can't even see.
Yeah.
And they're very aggressive. They charge you all the
I
time.
I
In
think
that DLC specifically.
I think that Elden Ring is probably the most unfair of those Souls like Akiro games. Like the
You
thing
think
where
so?
they take you and they put you in like these high level areas as like a new player, like you can just go to get a
Yeah.
teleporter trap, get put into this high level area. They're like, screw you, you can't teleport out of this high level area, you have to make it out of this area on your own.
Yeah.
Like that's
Whoops, I'm
really
in Caelid.
BS.
Oh no. I'm in
Yeah,
Caelid. Oh no.
it's really BS. It really is. It's really bad game design. I don't like it. Like, I think that is the most BS thing they've really done in one of those things. Because, like, even when Bloodborne teleports you to an area, like, that area sucks. It's really bad. But it feels like, I don't know, it at least feels doable, at least when I went through it. Like, I hated it, but, um,
Yeah.
like those bad
So
guys steal you and take you to that
yes.
area. Yeah, that area feels
So
kind of
that's the
bad.
thing. That's the thing. That okay, in that way, I find that that's interesting. I understand why you say it's bad. I find it interesting because that that bagman, whatever, that enemy faction, there's a good chance you're just not going to beat him. Like that's why they make that whole area hidden behind him. And I think that mechanic is interesting.
Hmm.
Like basically like, hey, we know you're probably not going to beat this dude, so we're going to take this as an opportunity to make you feel like you found something. That's cool. That is interesting game design. But
Okay.
the encounters in that area, I do agree with you,
Yeah,
are
they're
bullshit.
very BS.
They are.
But I don't
Yes.
even think that's as BS as just straight up taking you to Caelid, right? Caelid is
Yep.
a hostile
Mhm.
place. It's like a higher
I
level
agree with you.
place than like if you're just exploring around in the beginning like I was, and then I knew about the teleporter chest, but I'm like, okay, I'll go into the teleporter chest, let's do this thing, let's get this experience. So I went into the teleporter chest. I'm running around,
Yeah.
with my long sword. I hadn't upgraded at all yet at this time, and yeah, I'm trying to go through Caelid with just an unupgraded longsword. I'm like, man, this really sucks. Wow, this would suck if I was a new player and had no idea what I was doing. At least I know what I'm doing, and it still sucks. Like I'm still getting my butt
Right.
kicked constantly. Um,
Yeah.
so then you make it out of like this cave, right? And then you get into like actual Caelid, and then you got to get out of Caelid because it still won't let you teleport. Um,
Right.
and so I start walking out of to out of Caelid, and then all of a sudden I get kicked off of Torrent, and I get invaded by Millicent. I'm like, okay, well let's tango with Millicent a bit.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she just absolutely like kills you,
She
kills you,
works you.
kills
She
you.
works you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she uses the freaking waterfowl dance on you. Like,
It feels like a player invasion. You're like, what is going on
yeah,
here? Like, I like those FromSoft, like, hey, I'm fighting a character that seems like me. That's cool. Bloodborne does this a lot, but it does it well. I don't like that Millicent fight specifically, just like you. I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, on Bloodborne, I don't like some of those fights. Some of those fights on Bloodborne are really they give you like 10 times the health that you as a player has on some of those like
Okay.
NPC fights on Bloodborne. I remember specifically in like the old like the
Old
old Yarnum, they have like that guy at like the cannon or whatever, and you go up and fight him, and he has like 10 times the health you have. I ended up having to like cheese him to get him to like fall off the building because I just couldn't get
That's
through
what
all of his
everybody
health.
does with him. That's what
It's
everybody
really
does with
bad.
him.
That's kind of bad though. Like, why does he
Yeah.
have that much health? Like, genuinely, like.
The mechanic is interesting to get to him. Like, oh, I got to dodge his fire. That's cool.
Yes, that's
But
cool.
once you get up there, I agree. The arena's not big enough to.
The arena's
make
not
that
big enough to warrant like the big health bar. Like, just give him a
Yep,
normal
yep.
health bar. Let him, let you swing at him a few times, kill him. But no, you have to swing at him like 50 stupid times or something like that to
Mhm.
actually kill him because
Well,
his health bar is so stupidly large.
did you play that with Threaded Cane as well? Maybe that.
No. This is Saw Cleaver.
Okay.
Remember, I went through that thing with Saw Cleaver.
Okay, you did.
I
Okay.
went online. I went to the most optimal build, and that's how I got through Bloodborne. I played that with the
Fair,
most optimal build, using like the beast pellets and things like that, with the Saw Cleaver
Yeah, sure.
transform, building up the beast gauge to like max, beast power. And yeah, I was max power that thing, and yeah, no, that Threaded Cane was when I was first trying that thing out, and I was just not having that.
Crazy. It's a bad weapon. Yeah, you want to talk about weapons don't own weapon? That's one of them.
But next time I play through
Yeah.
Bloodborne, I'm using that Threaded Cane.
Okay, you do you.
Beautiful
You.
Threaded
I
Cane.
will use my. I will use my regular weapon.
I do like that. I do like that rapier that you get eventually. That rapier is really cool. I remember using that a little bit, messing with that a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like Bloodborne because the weapon selection is really small.
Yeah, the weapon selection's small, but all the weapons feel really good. Like no matter what you
They
pick,
do,
really,
they
except
do.
for the Threaded Cane,
Even
then
if
you're good.
Even if it's Threaded Cane that hits like a wet noodle, it feels great.
It feels good to hit like a wet noodle. Absolutely, yep.
It does, yeah. The transformational weapons, I wish they did that more in the series. Like I
Yeah,
feel like that's
feels real good.
Bloodborne's gimmick,
Yep.
but it feels real good and it looks awesome. Like Ludwig's Holy Blade, like dude, come on.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's so
yeah,
cool.
yep.
Like it's so cool. But yeah, that's some Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. I'm glad they're making that movie with someone. It's like a Zach Kreger situation for Resident Evil. They got a guy that has played those games, played that game, and knows that thing inherently inside and out.
Yeah.
Like that is what you need. Not somebody that wants to copy, but someone that understands it and wants to give the feeling of playing that game in a movie. That's what you need, and they have that with Alex Garland for Elden Ring. So
it is funny with that game though, because like they make the boss fights hard, and they have the like Stake America right there, so you can just try over and over again. But
yeah,
with Night Rain, it's funny because it's like the bosses are hard, but also it's like a multiplayer first game, so you have to like get there not just by your own skill, but also get two other people there, right? But also it's a 40-minute run back because you have to do a full run again before you get to the boss. And you want to talk about a run back? That's a fun run back.
Well, you're also like it's structured in a way where you're fighting bosses to get there. But
you are. You're having fun on the way there, but it's still frustrating when you like have them at a sliver and you can't clutch up, and then you're like everyone's like, oh, they all want to die because they have to keep fighting.
I wonder how
boss.
that game did. Yeah, I wonder how that game did. Like, it seemed like it was a pretty big success for them.
Yeah, I don't think it was like critically acclaimed per se. People didn't particularly appreciate the reuse of stuff.
Right.
But that's what that game was. I mean, yeah, I liked that thing a lot.
That's what Elden Ring is.
I like that thing better than Elden Ring. Like straight up, I like that thing better than Elden Ring. I think that is a better game than base Elden Ring, like in all aspects.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the general audience was huge on Night Rain. So,
well, it's also multiplayer stuff is inherently not as accessible to people that just want to play one of those things. Like maybe not accessible is not the right word. It's just maybe not as interesting as a single player RPG that you can sink tons of hours into. Like if you're just a regular Joe Schmo, you'd probably prefer that, I would assume.
Sure.
And Elden Ring hit the mainstream, like it just did. Like
Yep.
I was hearing, my mom was talking to me about Elden Ring. She's like, "What is this Elden Ring?" You know what I mean? Like that's how big that game was. Sold 20 something million copies. Like it was a huge hit for them. So
It's Lord of the
yeah,
Rings.
hopefully it's not.
That's what you gotta
But
tell your mom. You say, yeah, it's just Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
oh, that's what I tell her. Yes, no,
Uh,
you're right. Nope, you're right. It's
Lord
not
of the
Harry
Rings.
Potter.
Yeah.
It's not Harry Potter.
Lord of the
But anyway, that's an Elden Ring.
Rings.
In the grand scheme of things, I will play that game again, and I need to get through that DLC at some point.
That's my
Um,
goal, is to get my character with a quality build, get to that DLC. Surely with a quality build, I can find some tool, some good weapon that will get me through that DLC. I gotta learn how to buff too. I gotta learn like the try hard sweat buff text with like the exalted flesh or whatever people use.
yeah,
You know.
they do that sort of thing, like the
you
shrimp and stuff. Like they
you
do all kinds of
you
things.
gotta play that game by that game's rules. That's what I hate about that
You
game.
do.
But if I'm going to give it a fair chance, I need to just sit down, play by its rules. I've been actively using the entire move set of the weapons that I've been using. So like with the longsword, I've been using the R1s, the R2s, the
Yep.
jumping R1s, the
Yep.
jumping R2s, the two-handed, the one-handed, the weapon skill, like the standoff thing. That standoff thing really good on the longsword, for specifically
Yeah.
for fighting humanoids. Like small humanoids,
Yep.
that thing shreds. If you want to fight a big
Mhm.
guy, jumping heavy R2s. I learned that in Night Rain. Jumping heavy R2s are really good against big guys for poise breaking.
That's the thing. Like that is a game that wants you to use the stuff it gives you more
Yes,
than
it wants
any
you to
other
use
game in the series.
everything. Yep.
They even encourage summons in a way where
Yep.
like they give you like a proto summon with mimic tier. They're like,
Yep.
if you don't want to summon real people, here is a stand-in for that. Like
Yep.
they made that as accessible as any of the games in the series, even if it does have a bunch of BS in it. Like it's very, very appealing because like when you hit a roadblock, you can usually go somewhere else and
Yeah,
try to
that's true.
that,
I don't know.
you
For
know.
me, I think that's the most BS game. I think that's the most inaccessible game. Like, I really don't recommend that game to somebody who's never played one of those things before, because I think that game is so BS. Like, I would rather somebody play Dark Souls 2 as their first game than play,
But that's
or Demon Souls
that's
as
the
their
thing
first
though.
game than play Elden Ring as their first game, because that game is so
That's the
BS to
thing.
me.
That's the thing though, dude. Like that's the thing I think has borne out is that it is people's first one, and
Yeah.
people prefer that over any other of them. My
Yeah.
brothers do not care about Dark Souls. They don't care about Bloodborne. My brother Honor has played Elden Ring 20 times.
Hmm.
Like no joke. He's played that game
Yeah.
so many times. And I'm not even being facetious. It's
Yeah.
around 20 times. He loves that game to pieces. Like and it was very welcoming to him because of the options it gives you. It's not because it's easy.
Sure.
It's because they give you so many tools to
Yep.
use to enter their world and to
And
be able
maybe
to grow.
I'm just too narrow minded, and so I'm trying to be more open minded with its systems, right? I'm
There's a
really
there's a
trying to
place
use
for
its
that,
systems.
there's a place for that. Like Sekiro is an all game about narrow systems, like
Yep.
I understand. There's a time and place for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So um yeah, Elden Ring. I I will beat that DLC one day. I'm with you. I need to do that. So
Yep.
um final thing on the games block. Big hefty games block today. I like it. I like it. We've been playing some stuff. I played a new game called Saros. Saros? I think it's Saros. Or no, the developers call it Saros. I'm like, okay, all right. We're gonna call it Saros because that's the way I'm gonna call it. But it's from Housemark, French studio Housemark. It's Sony first party studio. They are the makers of Resogun and Matterfall and Nex Machina, a bunch of fun arcadey games. And they also recently put out Returnal for the PlayStation 5 launch window. So basically, they have like a pedigree of these arcadey bullet hell games. Like that is their thing. Whenever their smaller versions of these concept, like these games that like had bullet hell and all that stuff, weren't selling very well, they decided to pivot to more of the AAA Sony wrapper, but with like all these mechanics in there. So that's what Returnal basically is. It's like a roguelike bullet hell. And Saros is even is more of that, but more accessible. We just talked about Elden Ring being accessible for all the tools it gives you. This is very similar in that way. Um, Saros is I don't think the beginning of this game is very good, but I will try to kind of set the stage. Um, Imagine it's like a futuristic Lovecraft stuff. That's what's going on. You are this part of this team called Echelon 4 from the Soltari Corporation, and they're going to this planet called Carcosa to harvest this material called Lucenite, which is a very, very powerful resource that if they can mine, they can use and monetize basically upwards of trillions of dollars worth of profit. So they got to go to this planet to get this stuff. So Echelon teams 1, 2, and 3 came to scope out Carcosa, and Echelon 4 is basically finding out what happened to those people. That's kind of the goal of the game. Is you play as Arjun Devraj, who's played by Raul Coley, kind of a fun character actor. He's in like Midnight Mass and Night Zombie, a couple other things. Very good, fun actor. Good choice for this game. And they're searching for their other Echelon teams, but he's searching for someone specifically. So that's kind of the impetus to get the story going. The opening is really, really shoddy in my opinion. I think the voice acting is really wooden for every character besides him. The facial uh animation is really stiff and not very high quality, which is weird because like technically this game is very impressive, but like animation wise, like you can tell like Housemarque is not. You can tell that they are not as proficient in this sort of discipline as they are in just mechanics and gameplay. Like they are a tech first company for that stuff, but as for performances and stuff, they're no Naughty Dog. We'll put it that way. Um, it's not great. It's not bad. I just don't think I'm into it that much. But the idea is like, hey, you're trying to find this team on this planet to get this leucinite to bring it home. It's like a really, really powerful natural occurring resource on Carcosa. You're trying to basically just make it home in one piece is the idea, and bring all the people back with you. All this colony that settled there that seemingly disappeared. And the game is structured very similar to like a Returnal. So if you haven't played Returnal, the idea is that it is a AAA run-based game. Basically, that's like the idea of it. You try to beat bosses in different biomes to try to get to the end, getting you know, randomly generated tools and weapons and stuff that will pop up during your run. Very Hades like, very, you're getting pickups to further your run is the idea. It's a roguelike to the nth degree. It's one of the most um Returnal anyway is one of the most like big budget one of these that they've made for sure. Like in general, for the genre, it's maybe the most expensive looking one, feeling one, all that. It's like a high quality one of those. Um, and the issue I have with Returnal um, is the that sort of system stuff is great. The game is really fun. Everything about it is great, except when you die. The way that game is structured is you have to beat it all in one run or close to it. You have to keep going from the beginning of a biome to finish something. So basically, like the final run of Returnal, you have to go through every single biome, or at least take the shortcuts through every biome to get to the final boss. And when you die, sometimes those runs take like 90 minutes and you just die and go all the way back to the beginning. And that is really, really deflating. That sucks so bad. In games like Hades, where like getting in and out's really fast and easy and fun, this game is just like the build of your run is so slow and gradual that like if you get to a point where you're just getting whooped, you lose all that progress. It just feels bad in Returnal. It feels really bad. The thing about Saros that they've improved upon is fixing that structure. That is why I'm interested in this game. They have all the stuff that is in Returnal, like the proficiency stuff. Like, hey, I have 10 proficiency. I'm picking up something that gives me 14 proficiency. That means I'm doing more damage and I'm better at this thing. Like you just do those roguelike things as you play through these different biomes, right? Um, the structure that they changed is instead of just like, oh, I'm doing a 90-minute run, but I'm getting knocked back to the back. Usually runs are biome based now instead of like, oh, I got to do this all in a sequence. Hey, I have done basically a run is like 30 minutes. I beat the boss of this area. I can choose to teleport now. If I have another area, I'm going to pop over here, farm, whatever. Um, But basically, if you've beaten an area, that is it. You can move on to the next one. Like it's not like Returnal where you even have to have a dalliance there. Like they go like, nope. If you want to teleport, you can. If you've unlocked this area, you can go there. It's level based pretty much, which is what it should be, because of all the mechanics they have layered on top. Um, Very similar to Returnal in the way it plays, the way it looks, the way it sounds. The story is a little different for sure. You actually have characters around you. Returnal doesn't. Saros does. You have like this team at Echelon 4, like I mentioned. Um, but I think I like the vibes of Returnal more. One, because the protagonist, Celine, was really strong and her voice acting was great. I think that voice actress slash actress in general appears as kind of like a secondary character in Saros, which is fun. Um, I think I like that lonely, like Metroid vibe, right? That science fiction future, where you're just like, oh, I'm kind of by myself on this alien planet. That's kind of how Returnal feels. Saros is not like that. It's like kind of, hey, I'm Call of Duty shooter man trying to like save this colony. That's kind of how it feels. Um, and so like I like everything about Returnal more on the story front, but gameplay is working in Saros. It's really working for me. Like I was talking about a dash of Pragmata. The dash in here is really good. The difference between Saros and Returnal now is uh, Returnal didn't have a shield. This has a shield, and this is a cool mechanic. You have the shield. There's like different bullets that you can dodge and or absorb. Like there's blue bullets. If you put up your shield up, you'll absorb those bullets in your shield. So basically, you're like inviting those bullets in to charge your super, which is really cool. And like feeding into those mechanics, leapfrogging mechanics is really fun. And there's like red bullets, which are bad, but you can block them. And then there's like yellow bullets, which are corruption, and they drain away your life bar slightly, but you can still technically block them. And so like by the time you're like deep in a run, you have a million things happening, a million things going on. Built bullet hell everywhere. You're dashing left and right, strafing, whatever. It gets really hectic in a really satisfying way. It becomes a constantly moving combat puzzle, and I love the way it plays. It feels so good. Like that's the thing that Housemarque nails is gameplay. They know what they're doing with this stuff. Um, I am jury's still out on how I feel about the story and characterization, but from what I played, the hour or so I played of Saros to start, it is a major improvement on Returnal in terms of structure, and the gameplay is as good as ever, if not better. So, um, I am normally a pretty gameplay first type of guy. Um, I will hyperfixate on a story if I find it interesting, but I find like if a game has a bad story but awesome gameplay, that's usually fine. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If it's the inverse where the story's great and the game's not so good, maybe I won't get through it. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I lean. I don't know about you, but anyway, Saros to kind of button it up here. Um, it's one of those things you just it's not worth getting a PS5 for, and almost nothing is. I feel unless if Intergalactic were to come out on this thing, yeah, buy a PS5. Like that would be the thing to play. But like this is another strong entry for a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I think it's a strong exclusive. I don't know if it's worth $70. That's a lot of money to ask for a roguelike AAA game, but it would have been better priced at 50 in my opinion. But I also don't know how big this game is. So I guess jury's still out on that too. But yeah, from what I played, Saros is very good. It looks and sounds so good. It is such a good looking video game. Um, I'm just playing on a base PS5 because who's gonna buy a Pro? I'm not a sucker. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm sure it looks amazing on Pro too, but like on the original hardware, it looks great. So that's my Housemarque minute, hour, day, whatever it is, and that ends the game block. That ends the game block. What do you think? I think that's a lot of video games we
It's
talked
a lot of
about.
video games. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know that like Housemarque stuff. I mean, I could get Returnal on PC, but it sounds like that's not a great one of those things to play. And I don't know when this Saros thing is gonna come to PC, so I
I
probably won't be playing
I
for a
wish
while.
it would come to PC, but it sounds like they're buckling down on console stuff for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Maybe in the grand scheme of things, it does come to PC Saros, and if it did, I recommend it. That is
Yeah.
worth a buy. But I think you should get Returnal, if only for the gameplay, because you are gameplay centric. Like it is a really fun game to play. Like
Hmm.
you want to talk about a good dash, this game has it. Um,
Hmm.
like I think you could get through it. It does take a while because that game is hard as balls. Like
Yeah.
there's just like really, they've even like patched some stuff in to make it a little bit easier,
Sure.
and all that stuff. But if you see it on sale, I think you should pick up Returnal. I do. Don't buy it full price, but yeah,
Yeah.
but that's an old game now. That's a
Yeah.
5-year-old game now. I would get it on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. So, but yeah, that's the game block. I feel pretty good about all that. Next week we'll have, or next time we'll have more games, I think. So, we have a quick little topic here. I've been wanting to get to. It's getting late, so let's try to keep it quick. But um, I wanted to talk about our favorite locations and liminal spaces in video games. This is a fun topic, something Noah came up with that I've been wanting to put in here. Um, I just want to. We have 2 or 3 things we want to talk about, and I think we'll just rattle them off. I'll go, you go, whatever we want to do. Instead of bouncing back and forth, we can just
Sure.
talk however we want about it. But vibey places in video games. Like, what are some of our favorites and why? It's not just sticking to, excuse me, like the liminal idea of transitional points. You can have
Mhm.
that for sure. But the liminal space things like, oh, I'm going to the back rooms, that's a liminal idea. But
Sure.
what I'm saying is like, what are some of our favorite locations in games?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we have transitional points, what are some interesting ones, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a few and I have 3. So yeah, I've talked at length about Saros, so you knock it out. Whatever you got, go ahead. What are your
Yeah.
favorite locations slash transitional points?
Yeah, I'll just run through 3. These aren't really these are more
Yeah,
locations, not really transitional points, to be honest.
I think basically I was saying it could encapsulate either because it's
Yeah.
just places, right?
Yeah.
So
Um,
that works for me.
so I'm kind of like, I guess I'll go a bit into it. I'm very experiential with things, so like if something has a really good um like draw to it, like a really interesting world building, I'm gonna be really into that. Um
Yeah.
and so that's kind of where I'm at with like a lot of media I consume, like with anime, for instance. Like a lot of my favorite anime have like really like in-depth interesting world building and like
Mhm.
systems building. That's kind of how I get with these things, and that's how I am with just a lot of things that I enjoy. But so
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
3 that I've got kind of encapsulate this, and like I was saying with this topic, it was kind of like really hard for me because there's a lot of like things I would like to highlight in this. But I've narrowed it down to 3 that I don't really get to talk about a whole lot, and I think that's kind of what I
Yeah.
want to do here with this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Hmm.
so I've got the Ape Escape level. Cryptic Relics is on here. Cryptic Relics is in like the sort of it's like the Mysterious Age section of Ape Escape, which is like like a time traveling game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so but Cryptic Relics is like this nighttime level that takes place in like these ruins area, and like it's just got this really good like it's really high. It seems like this like structure around is like really high up in the air on this like
Hmm.
ancient sort of like architecture, and like there's like a full moon in the background, and like it's just a really nice set piece for this game.
Yeah.
That game has a lot of those types of places, but I would say that Cryptic Relics is probably my favorite of the levels of that game. But I mean, you could pick out any level from that game, and I'm just gonna 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna call it a masterpiece. I think the only ones that I don't vibe with are the modern day ones. I think the modern day levels are kind of miss the mark a lot of times.
Okay. Yeah.
The but other than that, like all the time travel levels are really interesting, and I do think that like the final sort of level that's like a theme park sort of level is really interesting too. So
Hmm. Hmm.
but yeah, it's Cryptic Relics. I guess I'll just rattle these off then. So then I've got Super Mario Eclipse. I've got Red Lily City on here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that sort of level. That level, just the whole experience of it, of like going to it for the first time. There's a choice you make of whether you want to take a warp pipe to get to the top of it, or you want to walk up this long like pathway up this hill to get to the like
Yeah.
actual level. And so I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
I'm looking at gameplay of it right now.
yeah,
That
yep,
hill you're talking about.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Mhm.
So I was just like, no, I'm just gonna walk up this hill. So I just walked up that hill, took my time. Then I finally made it to the Red Lily City proper, and like everything is just like a perfect like synesthesia of like the visuals, the audio, the just overall like the dialogue of the NPCs, like everything about this level is just perfection of a like this perfect little utopian bubble of a society. Like that's just what Red Lily City is to me. It's a lot like one of my favorite recent comedy anime, a City the Animation. It,
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
I
Mhm.
I I just really vibe with like this poppy sort of city architecture. Um, and yeah, that level I just really like. It's really short. It's like there's like 5 shines in that level, including
Yeah,
like
that's what
all
I'm
the
saying.
secret
Yeah,
ones.
it's not that many. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a really like fun segmented experience and a really good sort of ROM hack that I really like.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so yeah, I'd say that thing is better than any of the areas in base Sunshine for me. So
Yeah, no, it looks really cool on what I'm
yep,
seeing. Yeah.
yep. Um,
Mhm.
and then last I've got Uplucid City from Pokemon White in this. So
Yeah. Mhm.
this is my favorite location in Pokemon, I would say. I really like this city. Um, that this is sort of like so when I was first like playing this thing, like when I was like a young teen, I was really gravitated towards like the ancient traditions of like the dragons and the lore of Unova, and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting stuff. And
Yeah.
that's kind of all contained in this city. And the city itself has like this like rustic feel to it in Pokemon White, whereas in Pokemon Black, it's got like actually a futuristic feel to it. In Pokemon White, they do like
Oh,
a rustic traditional feel to it. So it's like a version
cool.
difference for those games.
I like how they changed that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do that a lot in Pokemon? Like
No,
these differences? Yeah.
no,
I was gonna say.
no, no.
Yeah.
But and also who
Interesting.
you fight is different because if you're in Pokemon Black, you fight Drayden, and if you're in Pokemon White, then your gym leader is Iris, who then goes on in
Mhm.
Pokemon White and Black 2 to become the champion. So that's really interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Um, yeah. But
Cool.
yeah, no, I really like Uplucid City and like my save file for like my original save file for Pokemon White, I just have my character in Uplucid City, like just hanging out in there. Like whenever I load up my
That's
save file, like my team is there, my original team is there, my character's there. Like, yep,
that's an underrated thing that I like doing in video games is whenever you're done with something, the part that you like the most, I usually like leave the character
yep,
there. So like if I were to get interested to just look at it again, I go like,
yep,
oh right, I'm in this place. I'm in my favorite part of this
yep.
game, you know.
That's what I
Where am I
did
gonna
with
put
that
this
game.
character
Yep,
yeah, where am I gonna put this character to retire them?
yep.
That's super cool.
Put my
I love that.
character, put my guy in Uplucid City. Yep,
Yep. Mhm, mhm. I have a lot of fun stories in, like, open world games, like, "Oh, I'm done with this game, I'm kinda sad about it, I'm glad I played it.
yep,
Where am I gonna put this character as his final resting place?" Yeah, 100%. I do that a lot, I really do.
yep.
Yeah, so those are your 3, you don't have any more than that?
I could go on, but let's just probably just stick to three. It looks like you've got about three
Okay.
examples, so
I have 3 that I really labored on, like,
yep,
what are my
that's
favorites,
how I did. Yep,
and I think this is the list. So, we'll do it the 1 or 2 that, like, are easy to talk about. The one in the middle is my favorite for sure. But Super Mario Odyssey, Metro Kingdom. I love Metro Kingdom so much. It's my favorite Mario level for
Hmm.
sure. Like maybe that's a little normie of me, I don't know, but like it is the like it's basically the thesis of Mario Odyssey. It is celebrating because you got to remember like that game was like a celebration of the series up to that point,
Mm-hmm.
like in every gameplay sense and every like level sense. Like it took all the disciplines of Mario throughout his entire career, 2D, 3D, all of it, um, and blew it out in this huge experience. That's what Mario Odyssey was to me, right? And Metro Kingdom is the most specific case of that, where there's like so many references, just Mario stuff in that thing. And it's not just like oh, an Easter egg. Like they made it all like make sense, you know. And they brought back Pauline, which was an interesting character, and they ended up doing more with her later too. And the stuff they do later in in Donkey Kong, just like talking about all the stuff in like Mario, just like, hey, I'm gonna reference this here, reference this there. Like it's interesting to see when these things are showing up, you know? Um, and it's like not to get into spoilers about anything specific because there are interesting things in Mario Odyssey and Donkey Kong that like relate to each other. But like the Metro Kingdom in Odyssey, specifically what I'm talking about, there's like a lot of fun references to Donkey Kong and Pauline specifically that I really like, you know? And there's like street names that are named certain things that are fun, and like the geography is really interesting. It just feels like a city block. Like sometimes I feel like Mario spaces don't make a lot of sense. Like they make a sense in the gameplay sense, but like, hey, do people live here? That doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. Things kind of levels sometimes feel like obstacle courses. You know, that's why I like Isle Delfino so much when it comes to the main hub. That feels like a place people are hanging out in. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how Metro Kingdom feels. And
Yeah.
there's always something to look at, always something to do. Getting all the moons was by far my favorite in this place. It was either that or the Sand Kingdom and Mario Odyssey. And they also have maybe the crowning achievement of that game, and it's the jump up superstar sequence. It's one of the best moments in video games I've played. Like that entire sequence going up, playing all those 2D side scrolling stuff, and then going up to Pauline and doing the final jam is awesome. It's so cool. When that came out, it was cool then, it's cool now. I love Metro Kingdom, by far my favorite Mario level. Um, I'm going to talk about the last one first, before I get to the middle one, which is, like I said, my favorite. Dishonored 2, The Clockwork Mansion. So, um, before I get into it, are you Dishonored curious? Do you know anything about the
I
series?
don't know a
What do you know
blessed
about
thing. I don't play like the assassination type games, so
it? Yeah, they have a there's a title for these things. They're like systems games. They're like immersive sims. That's what they call them.
yeah, I don't
Immersive.
really play
These are
that
what these
type.
things.
Yeah.
I wonder if you'd be interested or not. I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know if I could recommend it to you because I don't know what you're into.
mm,
Uh, but Dishonored 2, The Clockwork Mansion, Dishonored 2 is an improvement on the first, which I love. The first one's great. But Dishonored 2, you play as two characters. You play as the original character from the first Dishonored and then his daughter, Emily. Or Elizabeth, one or the other. It starts with an E. Who cares? Nobody cares. But that affords a lot of gameplay possibility because they have different move sets and they can do different things. And every level in Dishonored 2, it might be the greatest like designed video game I've played. Like they incorporated ways for both characters to interact with every level differently. So like you could play through that game twice and get totally different experiences just because they have different move sets and it feels unique even though you're playing the same stuff. There's just like a lot of different avenues to go down, a lot of different ways to go about solving a problem because they try to keep their worlds open ended and um, they kind of fold back on each other, very Metroid style, very Dark Souls 1 style, you know, very Elden Ring way, and some of that stuff. Like, hey, if you can see that thing, there's a chance you can interact with it in a really interesting way. Um, and there is no better level in that game than the Clockwork Mansion. It is a fascinating level. I don't know how they designed this thing, dude. Like, it is a level that changes as you play it. So it is literally like a clock. They make it like a clock where the hard part I don't even like it boggles the mind how they even approach this thing. So like you have these two characters. You have Corvo and then the other lady. Um Different move sets, whatever. That is tough enough to incorporate in any level. But then you have a level that moves and changes and you can basically go inside of it as it changes. They had to account for so much stuff. I don't quite understand how they accomplished it. It is a marvel of just pure design. Like I would love to see like the documents they had for this thing because it is so complex in its layout. So for instance, you'll go into this main ballroom. All right, this is probably the best example I can think of. and you'll see switches to your left and right, whatever it is, and you'll flip the switch, and the room will flip over on you. Like the game level will change on you, spin around, whatever. Like a clock, like the inner workings of a gear. And to get through this level, you have to constantly move it. You have to move the actual level to with you. And it all works with the move sets and everything. It is just incredible game design. The best design level I can think of. I mean, besides my top, which is my personal favorite for reasons, for sure, which I'll get into. But the Clockwork Mansion, you can't even really say anything about it. Like you have to play it. It's a game, it's a level that has to be played, like to be believed. Like I guarantee you, there's like two or three levels that like I can think of as being supremely well designed in like every facet. Honestly, Dishonored has like two of them almost. There's like a time travel thing they use with like a looking glass that's also mind blowing. I don't know how they did it on a PS4 slash Xbox One, but they did anyway. Um, it's that there's a time travel mission in Titanfall 2 that is amazing and incredibly designed. And then there's this level I'm about to get to. Hitman 1's Sapienza, this Italian countryside, beachside, um, like estate village. It is my favorite level in video games, bar none. Completely, I've played hundreds and hundreds of hours of this level because of Hitman. Like Hitman, they let you the structure of Hitman, if I haven't mentioned it before, is you are basically learning these levels. You are learning these levels. Initially, they show you how to get close to a target, to assassinate them, and to kill them in interesting ways. And as you do that, you start to learn the different avenues you can take to accomplish that goal. That is what that game is. It is a puzzle box level. As you peel back its layers, it starts to get deeper and deeper, and it folds it back in on itself. It's everything I like in video game levels, all tied into one thing. There's like, I mean, I could literally recite to you by heart how to get through a level and what's in it. I even know the items in that level, dude. Like I know that level so intrinsically. It's my favorite level for sure. And but the reason it is my favorite level is because of just how big it is. I think it might be one of the biggest Hitman levels ever made, but also how it all folds back onto each other. But basically, like they have these large areas that you can walk into, but then as they taper off, they start to fold in on each other and then spread out to other areas. So it's like I don't know. It's like a when I talk about liminal spaces, there's a lot of tunnels. There's a lot of interesting places to go. Like, hey, I can take this route to take me here, here, and here. There's always options around you to attack your target, whatever. There's tools you'll pick up along the way. Like, if you just walk through that level, you'll get everything you need from an information standpoint, from a tool standpoint, from like a layout standpoint to know it by like getting just regular stuff done. Like I need to kill this target four different ways. By the time you do that, you will know that level, and you'll basically just keep peeling and peeling away by doing all the challenges in Hitman World of Assassination. It's an incredible level. Again, another experiential thing that people have to play. I measure it to literally anything else ever. That's why I'm so excited about this Bond thing that's coming out, this 007 game. Like if they do even half of that stuff, dude, with like some extra flair, better combat, all that stuff, watch out. Like I'm gonna be all over that, like a fly on trash. Like that's gonna be me. Um, yeah, what a great level. Those are my three for sure. Um, I need to play Pokemon White. It sounds like I need to play that one.
Yeah,
So
very good game.
yeah, very good game. But yeah, those are our favorite levels slash liminal spaces in video games. It's a topic I've been wanting to get to for a while, so I'm glad we did it. Quickly, some TV slash entertainment stuff we've been getting into before we get the heck out of here. Noah, I give you the anime block. You take it, run with it. What have you been watching?
ReZero Season 4, good stuff. ReZero is always awesome. Very good isekai, one of the best.
Yep.
Demons of the Shadow Realm, new anime. It's the mangaka that made Full Metal Alchemist.
I was wondering. It
Yep.
looked like that. Yeah.
Yep, that's what it looks like because that's what it is. It's very very
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
And not quite Full Metal Alchemist levels of good, but it's still pretty good. I like it okay.
Yeah.
Wisteria One and Sword. It's a good fantasy anime. It's like this sort of new genre of guy that can't use magic being in Magic Academy, Antics Ensue. It's a genre now, so yeah.
Yeah.
Witch Hat Atelier, fantasy anime. This one's really beloved. A lot of people talk about this one. You might have heard of this one.
I saw a clip from this show that
Mm-hmm,
blew my socks off. I
mm-hmm.
went,
It's incredible.
what's going on?
Get on this one. You definitely like this one. It's a very
I will
systems.
definitely like
It's a
this one.
very
Yeah.
systems anime. The magic system of this
I
one is
loved it.
very good. Very very good magic system.
I
So
love system. You know, dude,
Yep.
you know me. I
Yep.
love a good system in
Yep.
an anime. I love
That's
it.
how I am too. So yep. I'm telling you right now, this system is a very good magic system.
Okay,
So
I will try to get on that. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
and they dedicate a lot of the time of the anime just explaining this this magic system, but they do it in a conversational way to where they're not talking to
Oh,
you. They're talking in the world and describing these things to the main character Coco, but you as the viewer are
yeah.
also learning as Coco is learning about these magic systems. It's very well done.
That's really well done. I
Mm-hmm,
love that.
It's not like
Yeah,
when JJK where they do like they go into like the black background with like the narrator voice and they're like, this is how his technique of clockwork rewind works. It's not like that.
straight up my issue, and I've talked about it with you before. Don't throw your shit off until you tell me what you're doing. Like for real. Like
Yeah.
if it's that complex, you need to spend time talking about
Yep.
it. Like I really feel
That's
that.
what they do
And
in
if I get that,
Witch
if
Hat.
that
Yep.
show's doing that,
That's
100%.
what Witch Hat is doing.
Yep.
And then they've got My Ridiculous Reincarnation. I've been watching that.
Oh my
This is
gosh. Oh my gosh.
actual factual isekai slop, and it's amazing. That's what the purpose
Slop
of this
for
thing is.
sure.
This thing is supposed to be slop. So this is just a grab bag of like random isekai like scenarios. Like the guy gets reincarnated as a rib, and then he gets reincarnated as a crab, and then he gets reincarnated as a door, then he gets reincarnated as like a lock on a chest, and then he gets reincarnated as like the level up voice in a guy's head, and like it's just these stupid isekai scenarios, just shotgun fire. There's 2 per episode, and they're always in a different animation style. So like one will be like claymation, one will be like paper mache, one will be like like manga style, et cetera, right? It's always a different animation style. So it's really fun, really good
Yeah.
one. I think some people are missing the mark on this one. I think they don't understand what this thing is, so it's not getting very good critical ratings. But I
Yeah.
think if you actually watch this thing with like a critical eye, like I am, you're like, oh, this thing's actually really interesting. It's not taking itself seriously. It's really stupid,
Right.
but it's a playground for different animation styles, and that's really interesting.
That is interesting. I
Mhm.
like when people branch out like that. That is interesting.
Yep.
You might have sold me on this. I'm not gonna
Yes. Yep. And then I've started rewatching Ruby a bit. Ruby is a
lie.
very long. It's about 100 episodes, a few more than that. For the whole like series. And yeah, it's got 9 seasons. Rooster Teeth did this thing. Rooster Teeth is dead now. So Viz Media owns the rights.
Allegedly, they are trying to come back again. But who
Maybe,
knows?
but now Viz Media owns the rights to Ruby, so Viz Media is trying to get that season 10 out. Basically, they're trying to make a season 10 for this thing. So,
Gotcha.
but this thing's good. And yeah, I'm rewatching it from the beginning, and yeah, it's still as good as I remember it. I like this thing a lot. I watched that like Ruby Ice Queendom by Studio Shaft put that out. It was okay. I think it just missed a lot of what Ruby is. A lot of people didn't like it. I wasn't like vehemently hating it like some people were. I just thought it wasn't quite as good as the source material. But I like Studio Shaft, so I'm a little bit biased. But yeah, and then I watched Milky Way Subway. This thing is it's a very short show. It's like 12 3-minute episodes, and it's just like a group of delinquents get put on a high-tech subway to clean it. Like it's like sci-fi setting, and the subway starts moving on its own. Antics ensue, that sort of thing. And then I watched this Chinese sort of isekai, released that Witch, it was actually really interesting. And then I realized that it's only 8 episodes, and that it's never getting
Yeah.
any more episodes ever again. It'll never get more episodes again, and they leave off on a huge cliffhanger, and it's really really annoying. So,
That
so
sucks. Oh my
basically, I
gosh.
gotta read like the manga that's like a completely different art style. Like it's like this cutesy anime art style instead of like being this really like down to earth realism sort of art style that the anime uses that I really like. Or I have to
Right.
read the light novel. So, but
Rough. It's rough.
yeah. And then lastly, well, on the anime tip, I watched through Clevitus. I was talking about this earlier. This was the one that made
Yeah.
me want to play Elden Ring again. But this one was a great fantasy anime. It's dark fantasy, sort of berserk type thing. And it's getting a season 2 this upcoming season as well. So I'm excited for that.
Okay. Clever test.
And
Yeah.
then on like movie stuff, I decided to go on a bit of a samurai kick. So I watched Seven Samurai. That's a great movie. 3.5 hours of awesomeness. Great film. Very old one, 1954. So they even
54.
have like
Pushing
a
Raccoon Man.
full like intermission sequence in like halfway through the movie. They're like, "Oh, we're in intermission now." By the way, it's
Yeah,
so
I
crazy.
grew up watching a lot of old movies like
Yeah.
Sabrina and
Yep.
freaking My Fair Lady. That stuff I'm used to, but my wife is not. So we watched Casablanca, I think it
Oh
was,
yeah.
or
Yep.
something old, something old. It was an old thing, maybe Rear Window. But there was an intermission. She was like, "Huh? What is this?" I'm like, "Intermission? You know intermission?" She's like, "Well,
Yeah,
I
you
know
go up and get
intermission from like
popcorn.
ballet and stuff."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "Yeah, no, they built in breaks in all these old movies because they were
Yep.
long as hell."
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, that's cool,"
Yep.
you know. But she had
Yep.
no context. I grew up watching these old
Yeah.
movies, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Same. Yep. But
yeah.
and then I watched. I was like, well, I need another samurai film, so I ended up watching Rashomon, and that one was good
Rashomon.
too.
Yeah.
So yep, that was another
Cool.
Kurosawa. So
Kurosawa. Noah's in his Kurosawa mode. That's who. That's what it's.
I've
That's what
I
he's doing
yeah,
now.
I mean I've always liked Kurosawa. I watched Yojimbo and Incident at Blood Pass previously, so I watched a bit
Yeah.
of Kurosawa already. So
Okay. Yeah. Kurosawa. I've been for my Powers TV dinners. That's what I name my portion. Um, I've been watching stuff with the little kid and the mom. I watched Cinderella, the live action Disney Cinderella. That movie's really good actually. Like most of those Disney live action movies are bad
mm,
because they don't do anything interesting. They just
yeah.
try to make a carbon copy or they do that original thing poorly. This is an actual proper movie
Hmm.
that is Cinderella, but it doesn't feel like they're doing the Disney thing again because like the rats don't talk in that thing. They have an interesting like, oh, the carriage is turning into a pumpkin sequence. Cinderella's interesting. Like they do a lot of like work to make it feel similar but way different. And it's from an actual director. It's from Kenneth Branagh. If you've seen him, you'll have known him. He's in The Road to El Dorado. He's in Tenet. He's in Much Ado About Nothing. He's a really prolific director. He directed the first Thor movie as well. So yeah, so he made that movie. It's very good. I think it's probably the best Disney live action. So we watched that. We finished The Pit season 2, the best medical show on right now. Like if you like medical shows, you're not watching The Pit. What are you doing? Change your life. It's so good. Um, it's very gory. So if you have a weak stomach, don't go and watch it. But I highly recommend it. We're continuing to watch For All Mankind season 5. It's pretty slow. I don't know if I like this season that much. It feels like they're really treading water because all the characters that they've established throughout the seasons have basically died because time is passing. So it's like an astronaut show, and they go through different eras. And so the original cast, they're basically all dead now because they took place in the 60s in this alternate history America, right? And so like we're now in the 2010s or something, and all the old astronauts are dead. So like you're trying to establish a bunch of new characters that just aren't as interesting. So we're trying to get through that. It's reasonably interesting, but yeah. The thing that we've been watching the most recently is Friends and Neighbors, John Hamm's new show on Apple. Apple's just basically the new HBO. Like every show they put out are bangers. Like there's not one bad show I've seen on Apple. So worth the money.
Hmm.
Friends and Neighbors was a recent, really, really, really good one. It's about a insurance bro or a finance bro that loses his job after his boss screws him over, and he turns to petty crime, which is really fun. Very Sopranos that way, where it's like, oh, I'm trying to keep my two sides of my life from crashing into each other. I really like it. Extremely, extremely good. It's from the guy who made Banshee, this old like Cinemax show. That was really, really good. It had the character of the actor who played Homelander was the main actor in that, and they have some character actors from Banshee and here and Friends and Neighbors, and yeah, it's a nice callback to a show I like. So Friends and Neighbors season one, highly recommend the show. Extremely good. If you want to watch a very juicy drama, that's one. We started Beef on Netflix season one. It's about basically a road rage incident gone wrong, and like it escalates from there. With Stephen Yoon, Glenn from The Walking Dead, and I forget what the actress's name. She's like a comedian. Ali Wong. She's in this too. So I've heard very, very good things about the show, and yeah, we started that too because it's pretty short. A couple more. Jury Duty, we started on Amazon. We've been starting a lot of shows and we've been finishing a lot of things. Jury Duty is basically a Truman Show idea in real life with like this entire courtroom and all these people and all the jurors and stuff are all actors, but they get one real dude in there to like react to everything. So like they have like a loose framework for a story, whatever, but they play off of this guy and what he thinks about it. So like if he introduces an idea, they try to improv it into the show. And it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Jury Duty. Um, oh my gosh. If I showed you some clips, you would die laughing. I need to send you some clips of this thing. It is so freaking funny. Um, do you remember? Okay, what's the officer's name in the Sonic movies? James Marsden. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Like he's in that show as James Marsden. He's playing like a fictional version of himself,
Hmm.
and the real life guy is like, "I know you from somewhere, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm an actor, and don't make a big deal out of it." He's like acting all full of himself. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I was in the Sonic movies, and the guy was like, I heard those Sonic movies are really bad. And he's like, what?
Hmm.
They're not really bad. I like them, but they're having to do improv because they're talking to a real dude, And James Marsden's a very good sport about all this.
That's
But
so
the
funny.
next day, the real guy comes in. He's like, by the way, dude, I watched Sonic last night. It was awesome. I'm like, yes, this is so good. It's so good because it's just improv. They're having to actually deal with a real person trying to talk to James Marsden of all people. Very, very funny show. And then we watched Devil Wears Prada last night because the new one's coming out this week. My wife likes that movie. I like that movie too. It's interesting. Um, Meryl Streep is god tier in that movie. It's maybe her best work. She's incredible. And then finally, I have to admit something to you. One Piece, Fishman Island, not great. Not great. It's the first arc that I've hit that is just not awesome. All the character work is getting me through it, but the story is just really dragging. And that's honestly what people's least favorite arcs are this and Thriller Bark. I like Thriller Bark because it's very like Halloween themed, but this one's just not great. I just don't like it that much. I'm just trying to get through it. It can't all be good, right? It can't all be good. That's kind of the rule for anything. But yeah, I'm just sad we're here for this arc with One Piece because I love One Piece. But that's it. That's a show. That's a bunch of stuff. Noah's smiling at me because he said I told you so about something he's never watched. That's basically what he's saying.
I'm
I was
not. I'm not. I don't even
speaking
have One
for
Piece on my
him.
mind. I'm neutral on One Piece.
You're oh my god. Oh my god. Somebody put him to the stake right now. Summer's coming. We have a lot of new video games to play. A lot of new video games are out.
A lot of
It's going
stuff
to get
is coming
wild
in
here in the
summer.
next
Yeah.
month. Yeah, I think this next month is going to be pretty telling for how the rest of the year goes.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited. Maybe by this time next time we'll have maybe some more information on Nintendo games. We'll see when they talk about those things. I don't know.
Speaking of Nintendo games that aren't Nintendo games, you know what comes out in August? Beast of
What comes out?
Reincarnation.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
Game
that is
Freak.
the
I'm looking
Game
at the
Freak.
Steam page for it right now. Game Freak is on Steam. That's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
They made Tembo the Badass Elephant. You don't remember that? They did. Tembo the Badass Elephant.
They did that,
I
didn't they?
That game is screaming a 7 to me. Like that seems like a 7 ass game, Beast of Reincarnation, but We'll have to play it.
Yeah,
I will definitely play it.
probably is, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
It looks interesting though. It
The
does.
publisher for this is Fictions, who previously published Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game,
Oh no.
and they published Lego Party.
Lego Party is actually a better Mario Party, I've heard. That's what I've heard. They
Those
actually have
are
fun
the
mini.
things that they have published. Those are the two things they've published on Steam.
Okay. So 50-50 track record is what I'm hearing. So all right, that's the 37th one of these. Thanks for joining us, Noah. As always, I appreciate your time. Love everybody. Thank you for listening to us yak about video games. Continue to do so in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye!